you want me to do it all over again?
Yeah.
Everybody sign in and tell me your names.
Okay. Yes, sir, Mr. Brenner. Good. All right. This subdivision has been before you over a year. Okay? We presented the subdivision over a year ago. We were on our way to getting preliminary approval. The DEC passed the statute which indicated that they were going to review certain wetlands within 100 feet of development. The original subdivision had 14 lots, one lot being given to the town of Orangetown, and I think we were going to keep 13 lots for the construction. Based on the fact that we didn't know when the state was going to do their review, we modified the design and came in with 12 units. We met with the state, and the engineer will tell you what happened in the state, which he is confirming what took place. I know everybody asked for something in writing, and their answer is, we are so busy with work. Hold on just a second. Whoever's got that, please shut it off. Okay, go ahead.
We are so busy with work, we just haven't gotten to the paperwork, but we'll take care of that situation. After that, it went to court, and the court found that the statute was unacceptable. Court turned the statute down. In fact, the governor even made a remark that she would not bring it back. Okay, so we then went back to the old design, which is what we were looking for the 13 lots. We are here basically now to obtain preliminary approval for the 13 lots. I do want to understand one thing, though, which I think is kind of annoying at best. We received these comments today, and it's not fair. We usually get them a day or two beforehand, but we received these comments today, so we're going to go through every item by item, because there are things here that are not proper, and are just thrown at us. We don't think that's right. However, we do have drainage approval. The consultants went through it, and we do have drainage approval. We have met the statute as requested, and we would like a subdivision that's over a year old so that the developer can go forward and try and do the project. He's a good developer, he's a good builder, and he's really been subject to really serious delays. So that's my opening remark. You want to say anything, Stu?
No, the only thing I'll point out, the map that's on the screen isn't the current map. There was an updated map that shows the proposed 13 buildings.
Oh, it's not on that plan set. That's the previous plan set.
That's the older plan.
That's the old map.
Just want people to be able to see the current one.
And by the way, we do
And television is very sensitive.
thank the board for bringing the meetings at 7 o'clock, consistent with all the others. I think it's a good idea and very helpful.
What's the date of your new map?
June 10th. June 15th, sorry.
No, that's, the one before the board, I think, is 5/8.
5/8.
Yeah,
Oh,
5/8.
I'm thinking the wrong one.
5/8. May 8th, yeah, May 8th is the current map. The latest revision is May 8th.
Let me go through the consultant's reports. I know there was, all right, Rick Oliver dated June 3rd. He has 14 items, but now on number 14, this is the application proposes 14 lots. Money in lieu of recreation should be for, it says 13, and now the number is 11. So that should be changed.
Also, the amount is wrong because it's based on number of bedrooms.
Okay.
Well, his comments,
We'll fix it.
Okay, I just wanted to get that in, okay?
It is an interesting question here, by the way. I don't even know if the same company, though, you're asking for something of a payment from 1997, and I don't know how legal that is right now.
Okay, that's.
Okay, so I'll have to take it up with the town attorney.
Correct, okay? Okay, Department of Environmental Management and Engineering,
Can we have them re-present the plans again?
Oh.
Before we go through all the comments, or can we do that, or?
okay, I just thought you could put the new plans up, because I see it says 13 lots.
It's gotta be,
Can you?
I know, but I'd like to hear what's changed,
Okay,
what
can
they
you
changed.
explain the difference
Yeah.
between the old map and the current map?
what's the current map, June?
The current
Says May,
map, I'll clarify it. Stuart Stroh, I'm the
Talk into
engineer.
the mic.
Stuart Stroh, I'm the engineer for the applicant. The current map before you was last revised May 8th, 2026. The revision to this map, most significant revision, as Mr. Brenner referred, was that the previous plan before you had eliminated one lot based on the wetland regulations that New York State had adopted. When those regulations were thrown out by the court, the applicant chose to restore the lot that had been deleted. There are 13 new homes proposed. There's a 14th lot that is to be dedicated to the town of Orangetown as part of the conservation area. The plan had some minor adjustments to the lot lines in order to restore that lot. There was one comment about providing access to the proposed stormwater management system. We moved the driveway for that, so there were some very minor adjustments to lot lines. But the most significant revision on this plan compared to the last one is the lot has been added back on Western Highway. It's referred to lot number 2 on the plan. We addressed a lot of technical comments along the way. I don't think, unless you want me to go through some of those, I don't think they're really that important, other than the things that I just gave you.
Right, okay. Audrey, what's the date of the map we had up there? Was it May 8th?
The one that, Rick had up there?
Yeah.
No, that was the previous one from January.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So wait, we don't have that one to put up? May 8th?
Not on this computer.
Okay.
On the planning board website, right?
Okay. I have a letter from the Department of Environmental Management and Engineering dated June 19th, 2026, and it has 31 comments. I have a letter from the Bureau of Fire Prevention, June 5th, with one comment.
I have a letter from the Town of Orangetown Office of Recreation and Parks dated May 20th. Rick, did you say that number was wrong, or? No, for Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I believe it's, they had 63, which I think was based on a two-bedroom, but these are four-bedroom,
Okay.
the houses?
Yes,
The what?
they're four-bedroom,
Right, so
yes.
they have a different price category for that. I
Okay.
believe it's like 9,000 a unit.
So you'll get that all straightened out. All right, thank you. A letter from Paul Degansky, May 25th. He has 5 comments. I have a letter from Weston Sampson, June 23rd. The information provided is significant to demonstrate that any potential significant adverse impacts with increased stormwater runoff would be adequately mitigated. There, accordingly, drainage approval is recommended at this time. I have a letter from Aline Glutkin dated June 22nd.
Those are,
Excuse me?
those are email attachments to the Weston Sampson letter.
It's
They
communication.
were included with the Weston Sampson letter. He included,
Okay,
he
okay.
included email correspondence from the review.
All right, well, let me see what she has over here. Okay.
You can combine it as that.
All right, there's quite a few letters, which is emails back and forth.
Yeah,
It's communications between Civil Design Works LLC and Weston Sampson dated 6/22/26.
thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, I have a letter from June 10th from Weston Sampson, and at that time, they did not recommend drainage. Oh, let me go back to where they approved it.
It
And
superseded
they had 4
it.
comments.
Yeah.
I have a letter from Rockland County Department of Planning, June 18th, and they have 19 comments. I have a letter from Rockland County Environmental Health, June 22nd. They have 4 comments. I have a letter from Alfred Gaddy, Orange and Rockland, June 1st. Based on the provided drawings, there should not be any gas conflicts for the proposed work. I have another letter from Stead, June 24th. Just pertaining to the job. I think these are all individual letters. Vanessa Lappin, June 23rd. Rob from Rockland, June 23rd. I have a letter from Rockland County Planning Department dated May 21st, consenting to Town of Orangetown Planning Board Service Lead Agent. I have a letter from Rockland County Planning, June 21st, comments attached, and these are previous comments not read into the record. Office of Building, Zoning, and Planning, Rick Oliver, dated, it was received September, I believe, 8th, 2025. And at that time, he had 12 comments. I have a letter from the Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, dated September 23rd, 2025. Bruce Peters and that. He had 27 comments. I have a letter from the Bureau of Fire Prevention, Town of Orangetown, September 9th, 2025. I have 1 comment. A letter from Paul Degansk, September 7th, 2025. He has 5 comments. I have a letter from Booker Engineering, September 9th. And at that point, it says, it is our opinion that increases in the stormwater runoff can be significantly mitigated for this project. I guess you changed drainage since then.
Yes.
Okay. Rockland County Department of Planning, September 17th, 2025. has 20 comments. Letter from Alfred Gaddy, September 17th, 2025. Again, same comment as previous letter. I have a letter from Cheryl Cooper Smith, September 24th. It's just individual letters from Vanessa Lappin. I have a letter from Town of Orangetown ZBA, September 3rd, 2025, consenting the Town of Orangetown Planning Board serve as lead agent. A letter from Town of Orangetown ZBA, September 3rd, comments, no comments at this time. Okay, I have a letter from Rick Oliver. Oh, they were, okay, I'm sorry, thank you, Mike. They were already previously read in, thank you. Okay, Andy, questions or comments?
I have a few. So, the reason why you're back is because you put everything back the way it was. What was the reason, what was the deal with the wetlands? What was put into place that made you
Okay.
change it and then bring it back? What was that all about?
So in January of 2025, New York State DEC implemented regulations that gave them more authority to take jurisdiction over certain wetlands under certain conditions. The plan was revised based on, we went to New York State DEC to get a determination as to whether the wetland on this property would come under their jurisdiction. We submitted the plans to them. We scheduled for them to come out to the site to see the wetland. Unfortunately, that coincided with the winter that we were having, so on several occasions, those field meetings were canceled because of the snow cover, which lasted for a few months. Finally, in March of 2026, the DEC was able to visit the site and see the wetlands. At that meeting, they confirmed the delineation of the wetland, and they confirmed their jurisdiction over it. And in, I believe, April of 2026, through a court case, the wetland regulations that DEC had implemented in January 2025 were thrown out, and they no longer had authority to take jurisdiction. New York State DEC has implemented a system now where they are reviewing the ones that they took jurisdiction over to see if they still have a way to claim jurisdiction on it. And in the meantime, we believe they do not have jurisdiction over this wetland, and that we went back to the previous plan to restore the lot that had been eliminated based on the understanding that they would take jurisdiction. So right now, they do not have jurisdiction over these wetlands.
So, the lot that you put back on the map here is for a house,
Yes,
and a good portion of their property is gonna be in the wetlands.
right. So now this wetland still falls under federal Army Corps of Engineers jurisdiction, but under the laws and regulations of the federal wetlands, a landowner has a nationwide permit to fill 1/10 of an acre, up to 1/10 of an acre, and what we are proposing is less than 1/10 of an acre to fill. So it's within,
2,900 square feet.
how much was it?
You have a note here, 2,900.
Right, and a 1/10 of an acre is
But that's-
4,300, so it's less than a
That's to
10th.
be subject to Army Corps of Engineers approval.
Well, yeah,
So they still have, the government still has some jurisdiction over these wetlands.
the federal government,
Yeah, the
yes,
federal government.
yes.
Okay. So then you elected to put the house back into the wetlands, even though it could be rejected again?
We don't believe it will be rejected because the federal government has a provision that gives every landowner effectively a right to fill up to 1/10 of an acre. It's called a nationwide permit. And if you meet the conditions of the nationwide permit, most importantly being less than 1/10 of an acre, you are allowed to fill the wetland. So they do have to confirm the delineation of the wetland. New York State DEC did confirm the delineation of the wetland, but they're gone from it right now. So we feel confident that the delineation is the delineation. Experts, our wetland expert and New York State DEC agreed on the line, and Army Corps of Engineers, they may or may not even come out to the site to look at it, but we're working on getting the letter from them to give their effective approval to it.
Going back to the wetlands, and your, it looks like your tree removal plan. It looks like there's an enormous amount of trees you're taking out of here.
There is.
And with how you have the houses positioned and the driveways and everything, there's a lot of trees that I see that don't need to be removed. And they're big trees, they're oaks, there's a lot of maples, there's a lot of different types of trees in here. You have 8 trees that you're gonna remove out of the wetlands on that piece of property.
Yeah, I think I see 1, 2, 3, I see 6 within the wetland. There's a small area that's upland of the wetland, but I understand which ones you're counting. Any trees that are in an area to be graded, it's not just where the house is positioned, but the grading around the property that's required, we will be removing, because they won't survive.
How much, what's the height on the grading? What are you gonna bring the
I
grading
mean-
up? You're gonna bring the grading up or down?
It varies. It's not much of it's going down. We bring it up a little bit. Some of it goes down, but the sites, it's not a tremendous amount of, in terms of depth, but it probably only takes a small amount to disturb the root systems, and that makes the tree not be able to survive.
Yeah, but I see that you got a whole bunch of trees. I guess it's lot number 2, the one that's next to the lot that's in the wetlands.
Yes.
Right, lot number 2, you got all those trees in the front of that house that are gonna be removed.
Yeah, because if you compare it to the grading plan, which is one of the earlier sheets, sheet number 4, and you would see that that area is being graded, so it's my belief that any area that's being graded will wind up having tree removal.
Not to mention the utilities to the house as well.
That's true. If you look at the next sheet, shows where utilities come into the house from the street. So it's an area in the front yard to be disturbed, and we don't think that the trees will be viable to survive there once we disturb.
All the utilities are going underground?
Yes, they have to.
You're gonna come in with a landscape plan?
I believe that, I'm not sure if I understand it correctly, so someone else could speak if I'm misspeaking, but I think the plan is to go to Akabor for each individual house with the landscaping plans, if that's the appropriate process. I'm confused on it myself, but that's how I understand it.
You're gonna present that landscape plan to the planning board?
How does it work
Well,
with
when
Akabor?
it goes to Akabor, we'll definitely send you copies, and you have final say anyway, by the time we come back for final.
I don't have any further questions right now. I'll wait till the public is done.
Thank you. Lisa, question or comments?
Yep, just want to address Bruce's comment, number 1, again, that we do need an official letter from the DEC stating that they no longer have jurisdiction over the project and the wetlands. You know, I don't know how we can even look at the project without having that letter from them. So that's one comment. The other comment, both planning board, Bruce and Rick, has suggested extending the conservation easement along the full length of lots 10 and 14 to provide a buffer between the new subdivision and existing homes. Are you willing to incorporate this recommendation?
So we discussed that at the project review meeting, and I pointed out we agreed to extend it the length of Lot 10. On Lot 14, if you look at the layout plan that shows the driveways, the driveway is within that area, and it's located there to keep it as far away from the intersection of Old Western Highway and Western Highway as possible. So we agreed to a compromise. We would extend the easement to the limit of where the driveway is shown on the plan. But, so it's not the full length of Lot 14, but it will extend the length of Lot 10, and at least halfway on Lot 14.
Can you just show me that on the map? Can we use the
Yeah,
pointer?
Is it possible to flip to the next page on the plan?
Here's a pointer if you need.
Yeah.
Right. The area that we're talking about is right here. So this is the existing easement. We agreed to extend it on Lot 10 to the limit. The reason that this driveway is where it is on that side of the house was to keep it.
Is there an alternative for the rest of Lot 14 that you can do to provide a buffer for the residence that's behind there?
There's a small area between the driveway and there's an existing stone wall there. We can try to add landscaping. We certainly could add a fence there. Perhaps some screening, like a row of skyrocket juniper or something of that nature that kind of grow vertically.
Okay. I'd like to see if you can provide a buffer for the full length, yeah, somehow. And then the other comment was that we would need a landscaping plan for each individual lot, right? And that would go to Akabor, but to us as well. And the
Well, that's normally done, in other words, so we normally get the grading done for the project, and then we come in for each individual house that will be built. We'll go to Akabor with copies to the planning board if they would like it. And again, as I said before, you have the final say when it's over.
Yes, okay. Right now, that's all I have, yeah.
Mike, questions or comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I definitely agree with the prior speaker that lot, you have to have some sort of screening. It definitely would be a condition. In my opinion, the screening along that driveway, either whatever, I would discuss it with the neighbor, fence or plantings, but something has to be there. You're very close to it. Oh, I'll come back. Thank you.
It's lot number 14, the north side of lot 14, between the driveway and the property line.
It's the one that opens up onto Western Highway there. Okay, listen, we had discussed in the prior meetings, I see that you did, at least with the conservation easement, it's extended. Also, we had asked for a complete, but you're going the other way, all right. Okay, the landscaping plan that you did show, you show the number of trees, at least the number of trees that you will cut down. There should be a number on there, how many you're cutting down and how many you're going to continue to maintain on the property. We usually get that. So number removed and the number to remain. Okay, now, and we had asked for a landscape plan showing what was going to be planted in the conservation easements. That I don't see on the landscaping and removal plan. Should just be a removal plan, doesn't show any plantings. And it should be, if we want to take all those trees down, there should be some new trees or plantings, and I guess you'll bring that to Akabor. But as you said, we have final approval, and it's not on there, and I would suggest too, Couple of the lots, I think it's 9 and 10, depending which the numbers are now. You should be putting in at least some sort of plantings at the end of the driveway so the lights don't shine onto the neighbor's property. Those two units, see which ones they are here. Okay, it's the, okay, would be the proposed dwelling, both, that one, just that one is where the, it's where the, it's, let me see, it's going towards lot 14 on lot 10.
Right.
The end of that driveway, there should be plantings there to screen the lights from the headlights on that thing. All right, at the September 25th meeting, CTEME number 19, and the 6/25/26 meeting, item number 22, the site distances for the lots be shown on the site plans. Unless I missed them, can you show me where they are on Western Highway? Because I don't see them.
It's on sheet number 2, we have a chart, the AASHTO site distances. So if you go one sheet up, and then it's at the bottom of the page. One, yeah, it's in the bottom middle. You zoom in.
That's for all the driveways.
On Western Highway, yes.
It's on page 2.
Page 3, page 3. Middle bottom of page 3,
Oh, I see, you put it in a separate box.
yes.
It's the first time I've seen it that way. Usually it's put onto the map so you can see it as you're going. All right. All right, the sidewalks. Do we show the sidewalks on the plan too? DME 17 on 9/25/25, number 20 on 6/19/26. I asked that the sidewalks be shown on the plans.
Where do you want the sidewalks? I'm not sure that we were clear on where the sidewalks are requested.
Okay, that's, let me see if Bruce has it in his comments.
Number 20,
On the, yeah, number 20, yeah,
from Bruce's comments, number 20.
right. Okay, the sidewalk shall be provided
Okay.
along the entirety of the new cul-de-sac and along Western Highway. A detail for same shall be added to the drawings.
If the board we'll add the sidewalks. If it's required and wanted, we'll add the sidewalks.
We might have a problem with the county. The county has jurisdiction of whether they want the sidewalks or not. If the county has no problems, we'll put it in. But this is a county road. On the internal roads, you will get your sidewalks. On those sidewalks, they have the jurisdiction, we don't.
Okay, if they don't want it, then get a letter from them stating.
Absolutely.
But the cul-de-sac, Bruce is looking for that, and I think we should have it. Okay, at the project review meeting on 6/10/26, the existing site features are not shown on the site plans. Berm along Western Highway, the easement, and multiple piles of debris. The piles of debris are not shown on the maps. Where's the debris gonna be removed to?
I don't think that debris is typically shown on a survey. I answered it the same way at the last appearance. Jay Greenwell did the survey. The survey's done to standards and specifications. In terms of the topography, loose debris is not shown on a survey. I've spoken to Bruce Peters about this comment. There are a couple of large logs on the property that I think he's referring to as debris, and they will be removed as part of the construction. The site, when it's referred to as debris, is not like there are gigantic piles of debris on this site.
What he refers to is multiple piles of stone and debris along the existing Rockland County Sewer District Number 1 easement.
Yeah, and I mean, stone is hardly debris.
Well,
and
yeah, I think you
it's-
better discuss it with him, because
I have,
he's asking for it.
He keeps asking for it, and our surveyor keeps telling us that these things are not typically shown on a survey.
Well-
They're movable objects. They're,
It's being asked for because you're filling in part of the property.
yeah,
And you gotta tell us exactly where the fill is coming from, the amount of fill that's being used. What we want is conditions that none of the debris on the property be used as fill.
I don't think a pile of stones characterized as debris, but we will either remove the stones or reconcile what's to be done with the stones.
They cannot be
Right.
used as the fill.
Stone is not.
We don't know any contamination from whatever dirt is with those stones, unless you wanna do a,
We won't, if Mr. Peters says it cannot be used, we will not use it.
And speaking to the berm, I've spoken to Bruce about this as well. I've spoken to Jay Greenwell about it. The berm is shown within the accuracy that 2-foot contours can show a berm. I know that Bruce keeps bringing this comment up, and I keep getting the same answer. The berm is visible there within the contours. I can point it out to you on the map if you want to flip to the map. But I believe it's shown to the accuracy that's required by the site plan regulations.
you're gonna have to, one way or the other. All right, have you submitted a revised FEAF as per the building department request? Comment 11, last one was dated 5/1/25.
Yes, we have.
I think that we
What's-
did.
What's the date of the current one?
Do you have it, Matt? I
I
don't
don't
have
have
it.
the date, but we submitted it for this.
Did you use the new revised 2026 FEAF?
No, it was submitted before the new one took effect last week.
I'm looking for that one. The Rockland County Plan number 14, they discuss green infrastructure techniques. What techniques will be used in the development to reduce the impact on the site? Has anything been determined?
Yeah, infiltration is considered a green infrastructure technique, and that's what's proposed on the site.
That's the only thing?
Yes.
Okay, tree planting is also something.
Within the context of New York State DEC regulations, the planting of landscaping and random trees does not really
Oh.
count as a green landscaping, as a green infrastructure measure in terms of their definition of it.
Well, okay, I'm just reading from New York State Stormwater Management Design Manual,
Yeah.
Chapter 5,
Mhm.
Section 5.3,
Yeah.
Table 5.7.
Yeah.
And one of the things they talk about here is tree plantings, along with everything else. I know you're not gonna do some of the stuff, but,
Can you read the specific technical requirements?
yeah, it
as to
says,
how many
plant or
trees?
conserve trees to reduce stormwater runoff, increase nutrient uptake, and provide bank stabilization. Trees can be used for applications such as landscaping, stormwater management practice areas, conservation areas, and erosion and sediment control,
Okay, so
as per,
they're talking about trees in general in that
I know,
paragraph,
well,
but
there's
they're
so many
not
trees
speaking
being
as-
taken down.
I don't think that that's the definition within where you get credit for green infrastructure
Well-
for the number of trees.
Well, the number of trees that were taken down, in my opinion,
Can
it's
we
in-
can we
indicative.
count any trees that we plant toward the green structure credit? Is the green
if
infrastructure?
it's the thing, if DEC says it, then,
You just read it, so
Yeah.
what you're saying is that any trees that we plant should be counted towards.
what kind of trees? You gotta talk about type of trees, too.
Well, right, that's what I'm saying as well.
Well,
that
go to the
just
manual.
Just reading a general
No,
paragraph about
I know, but
trees
I'm going
doesn't
right from the
speak-
DEC manual, okay?
What page was it?
It was, excuse me, I'll read it back to you again. Okay, it's chapter 5, section 5.3, table 5.7. That's page 5-42.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll look that up and see
Okay.
how that exact one.
All right, that's all
Counts
they
towards
ask, you know.
credit.
We always like to see trees out there.
Okay, we want to put trees, I'm not saying we're not putting trees.
All right.
I'm speaking of it, I'm speaking towards the comment in the GML letter and
Right.
green infrastructure and
All
how
right.
it's potentially counted.
Yeah, they talk about rain gardens and everything else, so. But the homes are now 4 bedrooms, not 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, did that affect the SWIFT at all?
The number of bedrooms doesn't
Yeah,
affect the
because
SWIFT.
number of people, with the drainage calculations?
The number of bedrooms doesn't affect the
Okay.
drainage calculation.
Okay, I'm just asking. Okay. All right, at the, I think it was the last, it was a discussion, and I'm trying to remember what it was, a discussion about the drainage easement running along the cul-de-sac. It should be revised, to be dedicated to town, not listed as an easement. Is
Yeah,
that-
we're going to remove that one,
Okay,
yes.
fire hydrants is shown. Okay. Okay, that's all I have at this time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mac, question or comment?
Just a couple for me, thank you. Haggerty Homes, any other developments completed in the town recently by the company, or is this like the first one?
I guess I've been being on this one for the last 50 years.
Okay, and any like issues, any problems that you've had, like,
I've never had an issue with it, honestly.
okay,
Of the building department, never had an issue.
okay, great. And then as far as timing of the development, like how long would you expect the building of this to last, like ballpark? Depending on it, all these approvals and everything.
Depends on the market.
Yeah. So you'd build them one by one as you could sell them, kind of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
Could take years.
I wouldn't expect so, but
Okay.
We are going to improve the property and we will build it as we sell it.
Okay. And then just one other one, I heard about the switch, this is my first time seeing the project, so the switch from 3 to 4 bedrooms. Was the traffic study completed before that or after that?
I don't know where 3 bedrooms really came from,
Oh.
to be honest with you. We
It's
feel
always
like
been
it's
4,
always
okay.
been 4. so-
Was a traffic study completed around this?
Did you do the traffic study? Was it done as part of the zone change?
Part of the zone change, yes, it was part of the zone change.
It was always considered a 4-bedroom house.
Okay. So there was no concerns brought from that? Okay. That's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Dave, question or comment?
This is also my first time seeing this project. I still need to study it more to understand it, but the one thing that jumped off at me is the wetlands. It does seem like that could be an issue down the line with the Army Corps of Engineers if they do decide, I mean, to say something about the wetlands being encroached to a certain degree. And I understand there are certain stipulations with the property being in, what is it, 1/10 of the property can be backfilled or filled in?
1/10 of an acre of federal wetlands can be filled
Okay.
under a nationwide permit.
Yeah, my only concern with that is if this one, was this lot number 2 over here, that might be an issue down the line, and whoever buys that house, it's gonna be a very damp basement too to deal with, because the water, you may fill it in, but the water's gonna be displaced somewhere, so I think that property might be troublesome in the future with the water management, especially a basement. Everyone knows in the Northeast, you have a basement, it's gonna get damp, and you're right on the edge of wetlands right there. That's my only concern with that.
Thank you.
Well, the only reason it's wet is because it's a drainage area from the road. It's not wet as such, the land is not wet as such. It's a drainage area that's being considered a wetland.
The county had a problem with their drainage in that particular area. In fact, that's one of the things when we spoke to the town board and the improvement of it, is that the county had a problem there where water ponds at that intersection. This was going to correct the condition that's there and get that water away. So a lot of the problem there was caused many, many years ago from a subdivision that was built further to the south, which created this water problem.
No, I'm well aware that the mosquitoes are as large as birds back there.
Oh, yeah.
It can be quite daunting in the summertime, but that would just be my concern with that one piece of property. I understand what you're saying now. Thank you.
Matt, question or comments?
Yeah, maybe, Don, this is probably a question for you. So there was a court case that overturned the DEC's interpretation of the
Yes,
statute.
there were 11 communities that challenged it, and the court overturned it.
In one of the documents, it said it's just an Albany County Supreme Court.
It wound up there because of the status of how it was created, how the status of the case evolved, and that's how it wound up in the Albany.
But, I mean, it's precedential in the entire state?
Yes.
Even at the Supreme Court level, there's no chance that it's gonna,
In this case, and I believe the DEC said they were not.
meaning it's as if it would hit the Court of Appeals and it's dead.
No. My understanding.
The governor said they were not going to appeal.
Okay,
I mean, there's a 30-day final notice of appeal,
and it's passed.
but in any event, yes, it is state. Since I'm speaking about this, I did want to say something. I agree with most of the summary that the applicant said, and as to that, I believe at one point they did say something to you. That's what Bruce is talking about in paragraph 1. More accurate to say that it appears that the DEC does not. There are other cases where immediately they were asked for a letter and they said, yes, we are not taking jurisdiction of this matter. They have not done so in this case. I would say 95, 96%. They have not said so yet.
Yeah,
Not until they state.
yeah, it just seems that would be a helpful thing to
And,
have
and
at
that,
the end.
that is an accurate correction. And I think I did misspeak. If I said they don't have jurisdiction, it's not until they demonstrate such. So, but I agree with that interpretation and correction, yes.
It would just seem that I think we'd be more comfortable, or I'd be more comfortable if we had that in writing from the
Well,
agency.
sometimes getting a letter out of the DEC or something like that
Yeah.
is practically impossible. But they did tell us they have a backlog,
Yeah,
and
and I believe they also have a time limit as to when to respond so we filed something to appeal their letter that was taking jurisdiction, and there is a time frame in which they have to respond, which I'm not exactly sure what the time frame is and when it started, but
But it's the state of New York and they, yeah, file a mandamus or something and.
no,
What's the time
they had, a lot of communities were very unhappy with that.
Right.
They just dropped. It wasn't our community, we had communities in Albany, we had communities in Schenectady, we had communities in Orange County. They came out of every area going against that law.
If they did take jurisdiction, you would just go back and move that lot number 2? Would that be?
If that's the case, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Do we have a copy of the appeal that you filed?
I can send you a whole email chain of our communications back and forth, and I'm not sure what you get. Like, I filed other appeals, and I'll see if I get any kind of confirmation of it, but we have direct,
Like the date that you filed it, so we know.
yeah, we have direct emails with staff from the DEC trying our effort to get this reviewed. So, yes, we can forward whatever we have.
Bruce, questions or comments? Okay. All right, okay, let me have a motion to open up to the public.
Motion up, public portion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Okay. Going to open it up to the public session. Okay. Everybody has no more than 3 minutes. What I would like you to do, step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. once you're done talking, please come up, sign the sheet that's up on the table here, and while you're signing, the next person can get up and start talking, okay? So whoever wishes to start, please do. Yes, sir, step up, state your name and address for the record.
Don Gable,
Yeah, make sure that mic is on, you push the button. It should go.
Better? Okay. Don Gable,
Spell your last name for me,
Gabel,
and your address.
683 Western Highway. So I have a little more information about the DEC, the topic you were just talking about. I too spoke to the DEC, and they are going to, in their minds, continue to pursue the jurisdiction in these areas. They may not get everything they want, and it may take a while, but they are going to continue to do it, from what they've told me. There are 3 scenarios that the DEC still remains with jurisdiction. One of them might apply here, the 50-meter rule, which I didn't hear anybody talk about. This is a gray area maybe here at best. There is a direct connect to a large mapped body of a wetland and a reservoir, go figure. So it's kind of clear that a New York State DEC jurisdiction assessment is needed. They currently, when I spoke to them, and I said you came back before the town and now put the lot back in the wetlands, they were very, very concerned and said, oh, we're going to look into that. So, yeah, there's a lot of ambiguity, what's going on right now with that kind of situation, and it seems kind of we shouldn't act so hastily. Again, also with the new plan, Ellsworth is now cut off, and you're going to put more cars out onto Western Highway. And really, there's not much any at all of a recessed entrance like you see on other county road developments, right up the street, right down the street. So the narrowest part of the road, you put all these people out into one spot. Again, and the Rockland County Highway Department, sort of a scathing review that must have come out today. That was quite interesting, about a lot of different things. So I'll kind of sum it up a little bit here with the environmental review that was originally done, I believe, is quite flawed when you look at it, and I did send an email to the board picking it apart specifically. That was about a year or so ago. And again, the comprehensive plan, I never heard that yet in the consideration of this density. Am I done?
No, you got
Oh,
another
I'm
minute.
sorry, okay. So one more. The town fought very hard a long time ago to keep this property R80. And there were reasons for that, because of the idea of the comprehensive plan, keeping open areas open, and also the environmental issues. Whatever may have caused it, it is what it is. And it was mapped by, I believe, someone that may have been hired by the builder, Peter Torgerson, to map this, and he designated the wetlands. So anyway, thought that would be about it. Maybe we ought to slow down and take a look at all these variables. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, please step up, just sign in.
Oh, I'm
over there.
sorry.
Okay. Who's the next one who wishes to speak? Yes, ma'am. State your name and address for the record, please.
Vanessa Lappins, 659 Western Highway, Blauvelt. Thank you for considering this extra property as unnecessary. So Lot 2 on the map is situated right on top of a wetland. There's no reason we need to enrich the developer further by giving him this property when we know it's going to damage the area and be not in keeping with the community character. Filling the wetland, there's no imperative to do that, especially since the DEC has a plan in front of them with 12 lots. You yourselves have seen the plan with 12 lots, and that's what everyone thought we were going forward with. Similarly, the infiltration pond drain over here
Don't touch, oh, okay. No,
drains directly into the wetland. So that means pesticides, herbicides, chemicals are going to flow right into the wetland, and that wetland goes via a documented stream on the wetland mapper that takes it right into the drinking water. And so why we would allow for that, I don't understand why the community would want to degrade the water supply that way for our neighbors. The comprehensive plan mentions wetland preservation at least 4 times, and that is part of our code and part of our laws now that we adopted it in 2023. And so it behooves the planning board to please take that into consideration. There's no need to give this developer this many properties, especially since only a few were contemplated on this originally. I know we changed the zoning, but that doesn't mean we have to go to the maximum density allowed. If you look at the comments that were recently created by the Rockland County Planning Board, they agree that this lot should be taken away, and they believe that this is too much for the county and too much for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Please sign in. Anyone else wish to speak on this? Step up, state your name and address for the record, please.
Joy Macy. Joy Macy. Macy. 690 Western Highway, Blauvelt. My property borders this project to the north. My neighbors and I oppose the zone change of this Western Highway project to no avail. And now I would like to once again seek some balance between the development and the conservation. I'd like to take a closer look at the encroachment of Lot 2 on the wetlands. And I'd like, like everybody else, propose that Lot 2 remain open space. All the increased runoff from the developments up the hill and Lieber to the east converge at this lot, and I believe it is needed to mitigate the flooding, which happens often now with whenever we get rain these days, it comes down heavy and we have flash flooding. And I recently became aware of the general municipal law review of the Hegarty Home subdivision prepared by the Rockland County Department of Planning, dated June 18th, 2026. And I was happy to see that they are also looking closely at this project and are also very concerned about the impact it could potentially have on the environment. They recognize the importance of protecting the wetlands, and I quote from this review, "While this department did not approve the rezoning, we did advise that the subdivision limit the impact to the 1.25 acre federally regulated freshwater forested shrub wetlands within the northern section, Lot 2. We recommended a reduction to the scale of the subdivision to better protect the wetlands." And they went on to say that they object to current proposals filling wetlands for the purpose of constructing additional structures. So they just, everybody seems to agree that that is not a good idea. And just nobody, don't we want to pay attention to what the Rockland County Planning Board has to say about it? And just also, I find again, it's important to find a balance between the development and the conservation and the preservation of green space in our town, which is part of the character of Orangetown. And a reason a lot of people come to Orangetown is because there's green space. And so I would really love to not have that Lot 2 developed.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, anyone else wish to speak on this? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Larry Vale, V as in Victor, AIL, 389 Kings Highway in Tampan. First, I'd like to agree with the applicant. It's outrageous that these county comments come in like 2 days beforehand, and nobody, you, the public, the applicant, nobody can, see them and look at it. So that's just a problem. I know as a member of the public, I'm going to complain to them. But I wouldn't agree in some of their first remarks in that this project is going on and on and on, and it's terrible. This is self-imposed. They could have been building in their original zoning like the applicant bought it for in the first place. So all of this trying to cram in as many houses as possible is slowing the process down, I admit. But that's not your doing, and it's certainly not the public's doing. As far as this, I had hoped to come to this to talk about the problem with Lot 3, because it encroaches upon the 100-foot buffer to the wetland. But since this lawsuit, since this adjudication, and by the way, I believe that it wasn't decided in court that this is a bad decision. It's a procedural problem in that the DEC didn't follow the right procedures to get the law enacted in the first place. What new procedures would do, I don't know, but they intend on doing that, but knowing them, it'll be a long time before there's a new law, and the applicant is quickly trying to get this in before a new law gets made that will correct this current situation. One thing I did want to point out, and I was glad that the board had raised questions about trees and filling. The applicant is quite right in that if you fill a tree, even a foot above its ground level where it grew in the first place, it won't be viable. So this gets to be a real problem in our process, because as a former member of the ACABOR, I can tell you I would see a lot of plan. We'd say, oh, applicant, why are you cutting down that tree? It said, oh, we'd love to save it, but the grading plan, it says we're going to chop off a foot of soil there, or we're going to fill 3 feet above it, so that tree won't survive. Once you approve that grading plan, that drainage plan, the choice of trees is basically irreversible. So I would really think that at the bare minimum, you can avoid all this by just not doing Lot 2, where a wetland is being filled, and something like an oak tree, the board mentioned, a mature oak. An oak tree is the most productive tree that can be planted in the Northeast. It supports the most bird life, the most animal life, and you try to preserve as many as you can. But if the original plan negates all that, there's no correcting it later with the ACABOR. So thank you, and I hope one more thing I want to say. You have a basis for rejecting this lot. All you have to do is accept the comments and the judgment of the Rockland County Planning Board. But if you choose to override it, rather than seeing the boilerplate as required by .19 in the county, I'd really like to hear you say what the basis for overriding that is. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, anyone else wish to speak on this project? Again, one more time, anybody else wish to speak on this project? Hearing none, a motion to close?
Motion to close public portion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay. We have to reaffirm sequel?
Cool. We do some rebuttal?
Excuse me?
Sure.
Can we do some rebuttal?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Certain statements were made here, we just.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
Use the
Okay.
microphone, Doug.
Okay. These arguments were given to the town board before the zone change. However, let me just clear up a couple of items. Number one, Ellsworth Drive was cut off because it was found that it could be a shortcut in which a lot of traffic would go through Ellsworth Drive to shortcut Old Western Harley and Western Harley. So that was done to prevent this shortcut and to keep Ellsworth Drive a quiet street the way it was. So, okay. Second thing, County Highway Department was in favor of this because they had a drainage problem there that was going to be cleared up. Okay, now, we have a little, I wouldn't say gamble here, but we are prepared. If we go forward with the project, which we hope we will tonight, if it's reversed, we have to come back. We still have to go to ACABOR, we still have to come back to you, we still have to do what is required. That's gonna take time. We can't start work on this project until October or November anyway, because right now the bats are in season and we can't even do anything. We would like this time to get to a point where we can go to work. And yet, we feel assured, and even if you read it, the Rockland County, I believe somewhere along the way, I read the Rockland County Planning Board says, well, we really don't have jurisdiction here, but we're just giving you our comments, okay? We are primarily, he's a good builder, he was brought up, he's probably one of the finest builders in this town for many, many years, okay? He does a good job, he builds a good house, there is a need for the housing, and he's going to follow the rules that are being set up that are fair. So we really would like to proceed with it. Takes time, project's not gonna get final approval for a while, but time is of the essence, the boards are jammed, and we'd like to move along so that when the bat thing is lifted, he'd be able to start doing work. Do you want to put anything in, Stu?
No, you covered anything. I'm not gonna rebut any other thing.
Ed, anything you want to say?
No,
Any other board members have any questions or anything you want to say?
No, I mean, would you consider removing the house from lot 2?
Pardon me?
Would you consider removing lot 2? Not building on it?
If we find that, that the jurisdiction is calling for removal, yes, we will not do anything that's improper. The point involved, it is proper. He lost one lot, he's building a big conservation, excuse me, I'm sorry. He took one lot lost to build one big conservation area to the north. This has been here for many, many years, all right? He's been paying taxes on this piece of property. He would like to develop it now, the time is right. And there's a need, there is a need. It was proven to the town board, these houses are in need.
Is there an issue with this lawsuit that was overturned with the state?
Also, perhaps, Bruce Peters did call me about this and explained his thinking. Court has in the past made things conditions, and obviously if it was a condition that if DEC here, and I'll give you, is that, suppose you give preliminary, and then next month, or 2 months, or 3 months, or 4 months, DEC back and says, we are exercising jurisdiction, not on the regulations that have been vacated, but we have other reasons. Someone had said, I don't know if it's accurate, 50-foot rule. There might be other reasons for exercising jurisdiction that causes a major change to this plan. As I said, usually conditions are things that were not lead to changes in the plans. Here, and Bruce explained to me, there have been various other cases where DEC responded within a month or 2 months saying, we have no jurisdiction, go ahead, it's own. Not done so in this case, which perhaps implies that they're looking into perhaps that they, I don't know if that's the case, perhaps they'll come back that there's no jurisdiction. So my legal opinion is if you want to give preliminary, you should definitely make some type of condition relating to DEC. For final, we need some type of letter, and obviously if DEC has any requirements, they're gonna have to meet those. Recommending that you not give preliminary until you get that. Board feels that you have enough, I would say it's in your purview to grant preliminary with that condition.
It's on a 12-lot.
Excuse me, ma'am, public is closed. Well,
And there is the point, I guess, that the previous plan that DEC looked at, one less home. Another change that's been made that perhaps should be. But, you know, if you think you have enough and you think this is
let me poll the board. Andy, what do you think?
Give them condition,
We could always,
depending on the DEC, but I'm stuck on the premise that you were willing to give up this lot because the DEC said you couldn't build in the wetlands. Am I correct?
Not really.
Initially.
Initially.
There was a time factor involved here, and, you know, there were expenses.
But you went through the motions of
At-
putting
at
out
the-
a new plan
At that time.
without the lot.
At that time, we had to agree, there was a law there, we had to follow that law, and we filed the application to go under that law, and inspections were made. And
But the whole meeting tonight,
that law is gone.
the whole meeting tonight has been about this lot in the wetlands, from the public, from the board, and everybody else. The whole meeting tonight was talk about the wetlands. You went, you made up a new map without the lot being developed. You're willing to do that.
To expedite the project, yes, we would.
Yeah, the expedite, so then,
But we were getting nowhere even on that, because the DEC was supposed to answer it in 3 months. Nature came in,
so what I'm saying is, even if we put in a condition that you get a letter from the DEC, there's always the possibility that you're not gonna get that letter from the DEC. So
well,
that's even putting you back further.
could
Mr.
be, but
Brennan.
we feel that we're gonna get the letter. We do feel that we're gonna get it, because they saw the property, they saw what was there, and there were so many factors in favor of doing what has to be done. So we're prepared to take that gamble.
I wonder if I can ask you, the DEC has this plan with 13 houses, including Lot 2?
No, it does not, because it doesn't have jurisdiction, but the DEC did come down and found this particular wetland wasn't, I mean, you could explain it wasn't that critical.
Well, the DEC had the previous plan that did not show the lot in the wetland that we're talking about. And they came down to the site with 4 people. They met with our wetland consultant. They came to a consensus that the delineation was correct, that the quality of the wetland was within their jurisdiction under the law that was in place at that time. And we were prepared to go forward with that determination and that plan. But then when the case came about that threw their wetland regulations out, the applicant chose to come back and restore the lot that had been removed. So they made a determination based on, I believe that the letter that they gave us was based on the urban area criteria. And
They have not looked, there may be other reasons, not just the regulations that were thrown out with this new 13-lot, other jurisdictional bases that they can base it on. I think
I mean, they would have been in play, like, whatever they might have determined would have existed at the time that they came there, so.
But they never saw 13 houses, correct?
But they're ruling on whether or not they had jurisdiction is what they were coming to look at. And whatever feature would give them jurisdiction was an existing feature that they had opportunity to view and to view a map in respect to it. So I don't know that, other than coming up with a determination that somehow the wetland is still within their jurisdiction, I don't know how they're gonna come up with some other feature or permitting that now is in their jurisdiction that otherwise wasn't beforehand. Because the number of houses, you know, if we proceeded with the previous plan, we still had to get their approval because there was some disturbance within the 100-foot buffer, even if there was no home being constructed there. There was still some disturbance. For example, the detention basin would have been within the 100-foot buffer. So there was a permitting process that needed to occur there. And they were okay with the detention basin being in their buffer. They stated that to us when we were there. So they were aware of disturbance, and they were not aware of the home that's being proposed right now on Lot 2, but that's because it wasn't proposed when they looked at it.
If the board has heard enough and they're satisfied with these plans and what they've heard, if they were going to grant preliminary, there should definitely be a condition that before final, there needs to be a letter, a jurisdictional letter. Does exercise jurisdiction. All the requirements, and the applicant, I think Mr. Brennan, aware that you may spend lots of money on these plans, 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, DEC may and major changes, and wasted that time and money. You're willing to accept that risk. You can ask for preliminary.
So, if you were willing at one time, when the lawsuit was in power, to build.
There was no lawsuit, there was a statute.
Okay, the statute, okay,
So
when
we
that
had
was in
to
effect.
adhere to the
Okay,
statute.
but at that time, you were willing to build the development without Lot 2.
Because of the statute.
I
Now, the
understand that.
statute's
So-
no longer there, we're prepared to build it in accordance with the statutes that exist today.
But as you can see, the board and the public are very upset with Lot 2. I think they may be more at ease if you eliminate Lot 2.
public was always upset with, from the zone change, from
But the
everything else.
board
They
is
didn't-
too.
They didn't want it. I think the board has heard certain problems here, but the truth of the matter is, there is a need. There is a need here. It's gonna solve problems. It's gonna solve environmental problems, that being clearing up an existing drainage problem on Western Highway. And
But that's all gonna be resolved whether you do Lot 2 or not.
probably.
Okay.
If it's built that way, probably. But please understand, this man's been paying taxes for many, many years. There are certain realty rights. And if we're not violating any statute, which we believe we are not, I believe we have a right to go forward. Everybody has their idea of what somebody should do with somebody else's land. This man's been paying taxes for many, many years on his land. He's a good builder. He's prepared to build something that the neighborhood, what the town needs. They're not gonna be cheap homes, they're gonna be expensive homes, and they're gonna be good homes, because he is a good builder. He's built in his town for many, many years, and he's prepared to take that gamble. If it comes along and the DEC says, no, we don't want that lot, then he will have to make up his mind whether, he won't build a lot, but we believe that DEC will not come forward with that.
Let me see what the rest of the board wants
So,
to do.
Just,
Go ahead.
I just want to clarify one more thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that it's not only the lot or the house going into the wetlands, there's other things that are bordering on building on these lots with the wetlands and what the DEC has said. Is that correct? Is it just, is the concern just the lot having a house built in the wetlands? Or are there other concerns with the DEC that are pending?
I know of no other problem. They have not brought it to our attention. We have not gotten anything in reference to that. I know of no other problems. We're following everything that our statute says we have to follow. And that's
But the
why
DEC doesn't know you're gonna build a house there.
the DEC has
If I could just comment.
dropped the
I should inform you
application.
That these present plans with 13 homes was forwarded to the DEC. They are aware now.
As of when?
It was part of the referral sent for this meeting. May 26, 2026, at 10. Was emailed to DEC, with these plans.
They look at
Permits
it?
aren't updated online.
Excuse me, please.
So now we're really waiting for the DEC now, because they have the plans, they noted, or they probably haven't even looked at it.
Well, I can't answer for the DEC. I really can't. There is a time limit, maybe we can impose them, but when, like you tell a judge what to do, if you tell him what to do, you're gonna lose the case. You just let him do what he's gonna do.
My concern is that you're willing to take a chance on this.
Yes, because.
And if it doesn't happen, that means you're gonna come back to the board,
then we
you're gonna
lose.
start all over again.
We lose the lot. Yes, that's correct.
You'll lose the lot.
Yes.
I have nothing further.
Okay, Lisa?
I'm not able to give preliminary, based with no letter from the DEC. I think we need that before we can move forward. I have no doubt that Mr. Lane is a very good builder. His houses are gorgeous, beautiful homes, and there's no problems, but the wetland is a wetland, and there's major concerns about it. Rockland County Planning has concerns about it, not just the public. Bruce Peters has concerns about it, the board has concerns about it, so I wouldn't be able to give preliminary right now without the DEC jurisdiction letter.
Okay, thank you. Mike?
Yeah, I agree with the prior speaker. What plans was set, what was the date of the plans we sent up? The May 19th, and we have now, you have revised plans that you're gonna be submitting from June?
No, these are the main plans that
These
are.
are the main
But,
the ones
but
that-
you were talking about other plans that you're gonna
I got
submit?
the dates confused.
Oh,
There is
okay.
no new plan.
All right, I can't go along with approval either. The conservation easement, plantings, screenings, sidewalks, the number of trees that are being removed, especially up in the wetland area, possible Because people use chemicals on their lawns, and nobody's gonna stop people from using it there. It's gonna go into the wetlands and create a problem, so at this point in time, plus the Army Corps of Engineers could say no, and DEC could say no, so on that basis, I can't support the motion to give preliminary. Yeah,
I just want to correct myself, the revision date is May 8th, 2026.
okay.
But we received it May 19th, 2026, the PDF. Correct myself.
Thank you.
Please understand, Mr. Mandel, any basin is gonna have the same problem. Whether you have 12 lots or 13 lots, the same water that's going into that lot is gonna go into the wetlands. So whether you have 12 lots or 13 lots, same situation about pesticides and all that. I think it's being over-exaggerated. Every basin we have in the town of Orangetown has that same problem, and we have not had negative reaction.
But you're filling in there on wetlands and
And yet,
stuff.
we've gotten national permits from the Corps of Engineers for many projects in the town of Orangetown under this national permit. This is not new.
And how many have you, how many lots have we filled in?
Over the years, many lots.
No, I don't, not in the number of years I've been on this board, we haven't.
Well, we've been doing a lot of industrial work, not so much residential work. That's the problem. A lot of our development has been.
Let's stay with this project.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Matt?
Yeah, I mean, my view is the same as the other board members. I couldn't move forward without a DEC jurisdiction letter, but also, in addition, like, I just think I would make another condition that Lot 2 just can't be developed. I think it's just an overdevelopment, it's just a stretch. I understand what you're saying about you're within the law of the Army Corps of Engineers, but you're right there. Just for green space more than anything, like, just make that, I would want that to be a condition as well, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Dave?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with the other board members. I think that, we tried to put this towards you in a way that was understandable, and maybe a compromise could be had, but I didn't see any type of, I guess, give on your side of the case. Lot 2 is obviously a point of contention, and I think that it needs to be looked at further, and if it's not gonna happen, maybe that satisfies all the different issues we have with jurisdiction and statutes, but I think that you need to hear what the board is saying to you, and not just the people in public commentary. I think that it fell on deaf ears tonight, and I think that that's a problem moving forward, so I think Lot 2 needs to be looked at. I can't go forward with preliminary.
Matt?
I am sympathetic to the desire to get moving on this, and I was wondering if there's a way to find a solution. If you recall, we had someone with an auto body shop where they couldn't get the lifts in time, and we were able to approve the plan as is, but does anyone remember? Yeah. Is there a way to, and I understand there's issues with screening and sidewalks and others, but just in terms of the wetland, to approve the 12 lots and then just say, if and when you get that next approval from DEC, you come back and then that can be approved separately? Is that possible? In other words, rather than, you don't, there's not a way, so it has to all be. Well, in that case.
Okay.
Can't approve it as 12 lots, and when they, if and when they get the approval for that 13th lot, they can come back in?
In other words, I understand that it's suboptimal to have to wait on DEC before you can do the 12 that are not contentious, but.
What is the time limit that the state would, that the DEC would have if they didn't make an, what's the time limit that they have to give an answer?
I was looking back at the emails as we were listening to the comments, and one of the emails from DEC suggested that they had 90 days to make a decision, and it's based on when we submitted the actual request, which I'm not 100% from my emails. It looks like it was submitted on May 5th, but I would want to check that before I testify to such, but
So you're about a month and a half into it.
that's what it looked like from, when you read the emails and they're built on top of each other, so I'm trying to dissect when it was actually submitted here. There was some confusion in in all of the DEC's determinations, because this property, as it exists today, is 3 tax lots, and they make these determinations by tax lot number. Their system had a problem entering multiple tax lot numbers, so it was entered 3 different times because of how their system worked. 2 of the lots that are to the south had no jurisdiction, they had no jurisdiction, but the one that has the wetland, they did take jurisdiction. So it appears there was some confusion in how their system was able to receive the request as well. So, but there is something from DEC that says they have 90 days to make a determination.
Can I offer a compromise?
Yes.
We'll take one of the bordering lots and we'll combine it into one big lot. In other words, we'll take 12 lots, but the bordering lot will be oversized. And if we get the letters that you want, we would then like to come back to the board and get the 13th lot. Therefore, we're following what you want to do. We're going to go ahead with 12. But if we do get the letters that you're talking about, then we will come back and ask for that lot to be split. I think that's a fair compromise. I think you're getting what you want.
Can't fall on a plan we haven't seen.
No, I know.
So you would want to subdivide that lot again if you.
With your permission, if we come back and get that letter.
So you want to go through the expense of subdivision?
Yes. A lot is a very expensive item in the realty world.
So lot number 3 would be 2/3 of an acre.
Gonna double the size of 3.
That's
And
correct.
come back and try to subdivide it.
Yes.
And can I just ask something? If you had to get a continuation to resolve the issues that Mr. Mandel had raised, I mean, wouldn't that sort of run out the clock on the DEC anyway by the time they appear?
I never know what the DEC,
No, but I'm saying, if it actually is 90 days,
I've seen a case where a judge says you have to have a decision on a 78 proceeding within 3 months. And I've seen it last a year, and I've seen it last 2 years. They do what they want to do, but I think we're compromised. We'll do 12 lots. We'll make that one an oversized lot. If we get the decision that you want, then we'd like to come back and try to get the 13th lot.
Andy, what do you think?
Crapshoot, really.
Excuse me?
It's a crapshoot.
Of course it is.
I would agree with that.
Okay. Lisa?
No, I think we still have to see the plans.
Okay.
We don't have
Mike?
plans.
I'm
Looking at
against
this
that.
plan, I don't have a plan in front of me.
Can't vote on something we don't have a plan for.
Matt?
I mean, procedurally, if we need to see the plans, but in general, I would agree with it. I would be okay with approving it without the plans. I could see what's gonna happen.
You're saying you wouldn't mind doing what Mr.
I could
Brennan-
get preliminary without.
Okay.
If they're gonna, with the condition of that they're gonna combine the 2, and then they'd have to come back if they wanted to split it again.
Good. Dave?
No, I agree with Lisa, that's a no for me right now.
Yeah, you can't vote on a plan you don't have. I think
True.
we're just looking for
That's right.
some guidance.
Well,
so can come back.
if you would go along, we would ask for a continuation and come back with a draw.
That's all what
Yeah.
you would say.
We
Yeah,
come back with
do
a,
that,
is for
yeah.
continuation.
Right. So you're asking for,
If it's agreeable with the board,
yes.
For continuation.
All right, Ed?
I guess I don't know, there's no choice, is there?
Well, we don't want to put it that way. We will ask for a continuation.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll wait until we get approval
gonna
from the,
submit
from the state.
Drawing showing what we have in mind.
See if you can bug DEC a little bit.
We've been,
Because
I
now I
will
know.
forward the emails, and you will, I'm certain that you will agree that we've been bugging.
If you're gonna submit a new plan, make sure you put in the plan on the conservation easement.
Yeah, we'll
The
address
sh-
the comments that we discussed tonight, and we'll submit a
a response to all the comments and,
Well, show it on plans.
yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. We're taking the next item out of order, and we're gonna do 600 Bradley Hill Road culvert right now. So if anybody's here for that. I have a letter from Jay Greenwell dated May 26. Excuse me? Yeah. Okay, this is
Donnelly.
for a subdivision of property for Donnelly, PB 26-07. He's asking for a 90-day extension. Okay, any problems, Andy?
No.
Okay, Lisa, any
No.
problems? Mike, problem?
No.
Okay. Matt, problem?
No.
Dave?
No.
Matt? Okay, you got your extension, sir.
Oh, yep, yeah, make the motion.
Okay, do I have a motion to,
Yeah, motion to approve request for 2 90-day extensions of time for subdivision of property for Donnelly, PB 26-07.
So moved.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Okay, 600 Bradley Hill Road Culvert Repairs Site Plan Review. Good evening.
Oh, no, this one, sorry, the other
No,
one.
that's it.
That's for the public, yeah.
You gotta push your little button to make it green. Turn that on, please. You gotta push the button.
Yep. Seth Mandelbaum, McCullough, Goldberger, and Stout, attorneys for the applicant.
Nancy Wong from O&S Associate, WANG. We're the engineer. Nancy,
I'm Paula Pangilinan, and I'm with the applicant, we're the ownership for the applicant. PANGILINAN.
Mr. Chairman, would you like a brief overview
Sure.
of the project? Once again, my name is Seth Mandelbaum, I'm attorney for Onyx Management Group LLC regarding property at 600 Bradley Hill Road. We're seeking site plan approval to replace 2 culverts on the property, which unfortunately have caused roadway deterioration and affected site safety conditions, and therefore need to be replaced. Ms. Wong will take you through an overview of where those are on the 600 property and kind of what the game plan is. We've been in front of PRC a couple times now in the last few months. We've submitted some additional materials, including a detailed phasing plan for the work between the 2 culverts and construction and traffic plans to sort of manage the traffic within the overall industrial park while this work is being done. There were some other responses to some of the technical comments. At this time, there is some investigation work going on at the request of PRC and the engineering department regarding existing sanitary sewer and force mains to make sure that where the project work would be done would not affect any of the existing infrastructure. So that work is ongoing, and a pretty good chance will result in some changes to the site plan. However, after going through PRC a couple of times, we thought it made sense, and PRC allowed us, I suppose, to come to the planning board to give you an overview, sort of get your initial input, so we can incorporate that as well as the plans evolve, and then come back to you hopefully as soon as possible with the results of the field testing incorporated into the final plans. So with that, I'd like to ask Ms. Wong to give a little overview of the project, and then certainly Paula on the operational side from Onyx could answer any questions about how the site is currently functioning, what the issues have been, and how that all plays into the overall park that Onyx and their partners manage with all the various tenants that you've heard about a lot the last 6-7 years as the empty buildings have been filled with some very good quality tenants. So Nancy?
Thank you. So, the culvert replacement project. Okay. The culvert replacement project involves 2 culvert replacements. One is at Corporate Drive, the other Corporate Drive. The second culvert is at Bradley Hills Road. Both are private road. The existing culvert convey stormwater in an unnamed stream beneath these 2 private roads. Culvert number 1 is the other sheet, the first sheet.
You have to talk into the microphone, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, sorry. The culvert number 1, see, the design is, we are changing the alignment slightly. You can see the top one is the existing culvert where has a bend in the middle of the section of the pipe. The culvert is existing 48-inch corrugated metal pipe. The proposed culvert is the lower highlight section. It's showing on there. So we're making this new alignment straight without any bend, and then as such, we're gonna improve the hydraulic conditions for carrying the runoff through. The construction will include some disturbance on the site. The total disturbance area is indicated on the site plan. The hatched area, that is the total disturbance. I believe the total disturbance area for this site is 7,200 square feet. The detail of the existing culvert abandonment is also indicated on the drawing. That's second sheet that details how to abandon the existing culvert after the construction of the new culvert. The next sheet. The next sheet. Okay. This one we detailed how the abandoning of the existing culvert, where we're gonna have pumping, the fillings, and the procedures. It's all indicated on this drawing. Very detailed notes on construction. And next sheet. This sheet describes the erosion sediment control. So during the construction, we'll provide erosion sediment control so that to minimize the disturbance into the stream or adjacent area. This is in accordance with DEC approval standard. This is the details. We are adding the.
Bypass the details.
Okay, bypass.
They let Bruce worry about that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. This is the second culvert, the culvert at Corporate Drive. This culvert is shortened, it's a short culvert. We're replacing exactly in kind. So that means the material, the size, and the slope all match existing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have to, ma'am, you have to try to talk right into it, because the stenographer can't hear you. So you have to try to talk right into the microphone.
Okay. All right. Is it okay now? All right. Thank you. Okay, can you go next sheet? Okay, this one describes the detail of the proposed replacement. The replacement of this culvert is two 48-inch, exactly the same kind in size, material, slope. So everything is matching existing. All we are providing is head wall and end wall for the better flow condition. And yeah.
And I just, if I could make one other comment, just so it's clear for the board and any public, this is all underground. At the end of the day, the road will look essentially the same, correct? It'll be an improved condition. Right now, the road is actually deteriorating because the culverts are compromised, which is what is driving this project. And in the meantime, you know, the manager of the property has been managing the situation with metal plates and, you know, diversions around it to make sure that there's no bigger problem while we're going through the process, so we can get the work done as soon as possible. So with that, we're happy to answer any questions the board may have, or take your input into account as we do that field investigation and get that all sort of synthesized.
Okay. Let me go through the consultant's reports.
Okay, thank you, Chairman.
Office of Building and Zoning and Planning, Rick Oliver, June 3rd. He has 5 comments. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, June 19th. Bruce Peters has 8. Bureau of Fire Prevention, Town of Orangetown, June 5th. They have 1. Paul DeGansk, May 25th, has 1. Collier Engineering, June 9th. They have, the above comments represent our professional opinion, but may not necessarily reflect all cases, in all cases reflect the opinion of the planning board. Overall, the proposed stormwater management plan meets the intent of the regulation, and therefore we recommended that 600 Bradley Hill culvert replacement be approved for drainage, subject to the above project comments, of which there are 3. I have a letter from Alfred Gaddy, June 1. Based on the drawings provided, there will most likely be gas conflicts with the proposed work. Please provide more information. Okay, and, okay, not read into this from the previous meeting. Office of Building and Zoning and Planning, Rick Oliver, April 3rd, 26. He has 4 comments. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, April 27th. Bruce Peters has 12. Bureau of Fire Prevention, April 9th. They have 2. Okay, Paul DeGansk, April 13th, has 2. Collier Engineering, April 10th. Due to the comments above, additional clarification information is necessary before we can recommend that the 600 Bradley Hill culvert replacement be approved for drainage. But I guess you've resolved that. Okay, now these are also has not been read in. Office of Building, Zoning, and Planning, January 12th, 2026. There's 1 comment. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, Town of Orangetown, January 26, 25. They have 12 comments. The Bureau of Fire Prevention, Town of Orangetown, January 13th, 26, has 1. Sampson, Weston Sampson, January 26th. There is no increase in pervious surface as a result of this project, therefore, there is no additional stormwater runoff generated to be mitigated. It is our opinion that the increase in stormwater runoff can be successfully mitigated for this project. However, our office has concern with respect to the proposed design of Culvert 1 and Culvert 2 as noted above. We therefore recommend that the 600 Bradley Hill Road culvert repair site plan not be approved for drainage at this time, of which there are 5 comments, and this is again dated January 26, 2026. I have a letter from Rockland County Planning, December 19th, 2025. It's just a letter. It's not within it's outside their jurisdiction. I have a letter from Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, dated January 12th, 2026. They have 2 comments. I also have a letter from Alfred Gaddy, December 25th, 2025. Most likely there will be a gas conflict, so you have to get in touch with them. And I have a letter from Rockland County Planning, December 25th, 25, comments attached. Another letter from Rockland County Planning, December 19th, 25, consenting Town of Orangetown to serve as a planning board serve as lead agent. And that's it. I have a narrative from Oxford Management Engineering, or Group rather, and it was received November 6, 2025. I have a short EAF dated November 5th, 2025. Okay, anything else, Audrey? Okay, thank you very much. Andy, questions or comments?
Yeah, Rick, can you go back to C-101? Yeah, there's a, it looks like there's a storm sewer here, or is something with grates and everything. Is that tied into this culvert
No,
at all?
no, it goes to the stream. Oh, no, it's not tied to the culvert. It's a catch basin on the road that drains to the stream directly.
Oh, so it goes underneath and goes into the stream here?
Right,
Okay.
right.
I was just wondering if that was gonna be impede anything.
No.
That's all I have.
Okay, Lisa, questions?
I don't have any.
Okay, thank you. Mike, questions?
Yeah, just one. Have you met with the Orangetown PD and Bluebell Fire Department Ambulance Corps regarding the detours yet?
So we've had a couple of PRC meetings, and the fire marshal, I think, was here. We have not had any conversations with PD yet, because my priority is to make sure all the utilities are actually not in the way. So we have been engaged with, we got the gas letter, so we are engaged with them and your sewer department, who I'm actually meeting tomorrow morning just to check next steps, because the first round of survey and investigations that we did, we didn't find the force mains on the roadway, so we are working very closely with the town, trying to find those. We might have to go off-site to get into the manholes, to get in, to see where these lines kind of go, because they've been here for a long time, we can't find them, so that's the main priority. But once we know that this is the way we're running it, and Seth mentioned earlier that there might be changes, the only changes that are gonna happen is the pipe is either gonna just go a little left or a little right, so we clear all of the infrastructure that's below there.
Okay, and then you'll get in touch with all the emergency services?
Yes, we'll make sure that we have a meeting with them prior to actually starting construction with my contractor. So, so they understand the schedule, and they're all on board with that.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Matt?
Oh, yeah, I'm actually very familiar with, I work in this industrial park, so I walk by that culvert number 2 every day. I know it's down, like, it's down to half right now. How long has that been down? Like, it's been a couple of years now? It's been down? Year and a half? Okay.
It's been slowly, failing.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've been maintaining it for at least a couple years.
Yeah, and has there been any accidents in that area? that
We've
you're aware
been
of?
like, it's closely monitored,
Okay.
maintained, plated, the plates, when we see the plates shifting a little and the ground start, you know, the gravel, because we have to compact it.
Yeah.
So we take the plates out, we go back in, we stabilize the ground to make sure, you know, nothing happens
Okay.
underneath.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
it's been
definitely-
rounds of that.
I definitely
But
support,
no,
it has to happen.
no
because it's
accidents.
not- it's not a good situation.
Yes, absolutely.
And I do appreciate that you're taking care of the other one at the
Absolutely.
same time, because like something
Yeah.
else is gonna happen there. What about traffic? Like, what's the plan to keep the businesses flowing there? Like, there's only one way back up to that restaurant depot area, right, from tractor trailer, like, how's that gonna work?
So, yes, we do. We have a phasing plan on there too, right? That's really our main, the other one is not a problem, the other one's pretty straightforward. We'll do half, we'll close half the lane, the other half, you know.
So you'll never have it completely shut down, it'll be like one
We
half?
can't, we
Okay.
can't shut it down. Now, the culvert number 2, where you're talking about where Restaurant Depot exits, we have a whole, and we discussed this also with Bruce on the methods of how we want to do this. So we will do it over like a long weekend, that one specifically, and we've talked to the tenants already where they're not going to have any big deliveries because the trucks will not be able to get in and out of that 100, 200, 300 area, and they have agreed. So Restaurant Depot is just gonna get smaller deliveries, get their bigger deliveries the week prior, the week after, smaller box trucks, so it doesn't change any flow. I'm actually reducing the flow in that area for a week.
Okay. And then will any of the traffic be diverted to any like surrounding neighborhoods, areas?
It's all us.
All on you?
It's all us, yeah.
Okay.
And just to clarify, it's not, the construction traffic plan was the newer set, so I think it's not in the PDF. It's up on the screen, but we have it right here if you want us to turn around and take you through it.
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
appreciate the description
Mm-hmm,
and the coordination.
All the traffic patterns, not.
nothing changes. We're actually, yeah, we're
On the public-
reducing it.
Yeah, on the public roadways, including road.
303.
303 and the Bradley Parkway.
Nothing
all
changes.
internal.
Got it.
Right.
Okay. I'm good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Dave?
No questions.
Okay, Matt?
I'm good.
Okay. Bruce? No questions. Okay, thank you. Motion to open to the public?
Motion to open public portion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none? Anybody in the public wish to speak on this project? Okay, one more time, anybody from the public wish to speak on this? Hearing none, motion to close?
Motion to close public portion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Done. Were you guys gonna ask for a continuation, or?
That was my understanding from PRC, that they wanted us to come here, give you an overview, get your input, and when the field investigation is done, incorporate whatever minor changes to avoid conflicts with the sewer mains, and then come back to you as soon as possible
Okay.
for consideration of the final drawings.
Huh? No, we already went through the condition, yeah. He's gonna, so you're gonna ask for a
But
continuation?
if you wanted to give us a conditional approval, subject to satisfying PRC with the field investigations, we don't have to come back again, we would
No,
certainly.
that's up to
It
the
is, it's
board.
a legitimate safety concern, that
Yeah.
bridge being down to 1 all the time. It's like someone's gonna nail it. That's the only reason I would.
Yeah, it would be nice to get this thing going.
I do want to say that we've addressed and incorporated all of those letters except ones dated, I think, June 9th, because we had a PRC meeting June 10th. So everything that was given to us prior has been addressed, responded to. So it's really just like the first 3 pages, just so, like, I know it seems like a big stack,
Right.
but we've filtered a lot of that stuff and we've answered it. So it's just those last 3 new letters from today, if that helps at all.
Yeah, just one question.
Yep.
On the bypass plan, is there gonna be a backup generator for the pass pump? They discussed it at the
What is that?
PRC.
Nancy?
I think the contractor is going to provide some kind of,
Use the microphone, please.
so we are requiring contractor to do 24-hour, 24/7 monitoring.
Okay, in-person
So-
monitoring?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So to make sure that the pumps continue
So that'd be a
through the
condition then?
entire construction duration. And that culvert replacement is estimated to be complete within 1 week, including weekend hours.
Right. It's going to do 2 phases? One is a 1 week, one, the other's going to be about 4 weeks?
Yes, correct. The 4-week construction for culvert number 1 is going to be done half and half. So the traffic is going to be continue going through the entire time.
We're final with this, get it done?
Yeah.
Because there's not that much.
Right, I mean, these are all,
Yeah.
the board doesn't have anything to add. I
No.
mean, these are all technical considerations
right.
that have to be satisfied, you know, that are beyond our scope, right?
Correct.
So I have no problem.
We provide the drainage calculations, all the erosion sediment control calculations and everything, and it's all satisfied. And we just have some minor comments from the engineering review. We're gonna take care of that once we revise the
No problem
drawings.
doing the final on this with conditions.
Yeah, I
You
don't,
got
I
the-
don't- I'm fine with doing final with conditions.
All right.
Thank
okay,
you.
Okay, motion for lead agent,
Motion for lead agent?
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay, motion for final with conditions?
Motion for neg deck?
Okay, thank you very much. Motion for neg deck? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay, motion for final with conditions?
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
to Interject, I just noted that Bruce Peters, he states at 5 and 7 that he needs things prior to
Oh,
final.
yeah.
So preliminary, if you
Would
want to
be,
do that, but you're gonna have to not, you're gonna disagree with Bruce on
Okay, yeah,
that,
because it's,
if you want to do final.
was
Not
the
to
force
say you
mains.
can't, but I think you should address Bruce's comment.
All right. I'll take that back.
Bruce.
Motion,
Motion for preliminary, huh?
a motion for preliminary
With conditions.
with conditions.
Okay, Office of Building and Zoning Planning, Rick Oliver, June 3rd, has 4. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, June 19th, has 8. Bureau of Fire Prevention, June 5th, has 1. Paul DeGance, May 25th, has 1. Collier Engineering, June 9th, has 3. And that's it. Oh, okay, let me go into the others. Rick Oliver, Office of Building, Zoning and Planning, Rick Oliver, April 3rd, has 4. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, April 27th, Bruce Peters has 12. Bureau of Fire Prevention, April 9th, has 2. Paul DeGance, April 13th, has 2. Not read. Collier Engineering, April 10th, has 3. Office of Building, Zoning and Planning, Rick Oliver, January 12th, has 1. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, January 27th, 2025, has 12. Bureau of Fire Prevention, April 13th, has 1. Weston Sampson, January 26th, 2026, has 5. Rockland County Department of Planning, December 19th, 25, it's out of their jurisdiction. Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, January 12th, and that's it.
Okay, this is the one, that bypass pump, that's with the culvert too? Okay,
Corporate Drive.
okay, so condition would be that the contractor, for the bypass plan on culvert 2, the backup generator must be monitored 24/7 by a person physically present on the site.
Is that remote, isn't it remotely monitored?
I don't recall what the actual condition was, but it was, I think it was, 24/7, I guess, was fine, because there's people there during the day, and it's really the after hours where nobody's there, and Bruce was concerned that what if, like, the pump fails or the generator fails, and
Right.
we won't know until the morning, and that's why we,
Yeah, it was
that
discussed
make-
at the project review, so.
You have security guard there?
we'll figure it out, yeah.
Yeah,
Not for you, though.
I mean, if I have to, it will be me.
no, for safety reasons, yes, we're going
No,
home, yeah.
absolutely, we will have somebody, yeah.
Okay,
Right. Yeah, just make sure you look at Bruce's comment number 8.
yeah. So, we need a second?
Second, I'll
Yeah,
second.
I just want to, okay, second, Lisa, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay.
Okay, so as soon as
Good
you,
luck.
as soon as you find out where those pipes are,
We'll come back for final.
fine,
Yeah.
right,
Okay, thank you very much.
thank you.
Next item is Orangeburg Best 1-1A-1B, 524 Route 303, PB 26-15. Good evening.
Want recess?
Hopefully, let's get this done.
Well, I'm leaving, I'll be back.
Oh, okay, go ahead, okay, you have a 5-minute break.
2 minutes, that's good.
No. There you go. Huh?
Last one?
Yeah, well, then we have other business after that, but this is the last one.
Graduation?
We took it out of order because that other one was supposed to be quick. Wasn't quick.
The first one was supposed to be quick?
Huh?
The first one was not.
I know, well, we knew that was gonna go for a while. We're taking a 5-minute break.
All right. Jumping jack time?
Maybe even 6-minute break.
All right, we'll wait.
Sorry it took me a while to get back to you, but I think for the most part, it's all right.
Yeah, I just have that.
Yeah, from our standpoint.
I need a lifesaver. For a, thank you.
Yeah, the problem with that, there's pipes underneath that road. So if they smell something, I have no idea how deep they are.
Yeah.
They're still trying to find a manhole where they come down to the camera. Right. Some of it.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta figure that out before they start.
Yeah, right,
If they'll destroy something.
yeah.
I just wanna get them moving, cause
Oh, yeah.
I walk that industrial park every day, and I'm telling you, those barriers have moved many
Oh, no,
times,
I've been
there's
down
no way
that-
there hasn't
I've
been
been down that
accidents.
road, yeah.
I mean, there's definitely been accidents.
Yeah, yeah.
Because a barrier's not moving, like,
No, no, I know.
concrete barrier's not moving.
Oh, yeah,
so-
they move.
Yeah.
Postpone this?
No, that's postponed.
That's postponed, still, we're.
That's postponed.
Wait,
That's postponed. so-
both are?
Yeah. They didn't like this, so they're not coming.
Like Salisbury Point and
Yes.
Street Boulevard?
Yep, both of them. Is that locked? Might be on the best.
That's kind of a mouthful too. Stephanie Ellison reading at least just kind of rolls off the tongue. Yeah, there's no rolling with Wojciechowski.
Gee, I don't know, when I was here last week, we had a couple of finals done, we moved through everything very quickly.
I know.
You come back, everything gets all held up. The truth is the truth.
All right, we all ready to go to work?
Okay.
I mean, no. Oh, she's bribing you guys, she didn't bribe us, boy. Yeah, well, sure, the meeting's almost over.
See, he kept it all down there.
Yeah, I know, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We can, we know who the favorites are now.
I absolutely passed them down.
Oh, yeah, they were all in front of you.
You gave me about 200.
Chairman?
I got my own rules.
If you want it.
Yes, sir, what can I help you with?
Okay, can you hear me? All set on the mic?
Yeah, we're back in business.
Okay, good evening. We're here tonight to talk about the Orangeburg Battery Project located at 524 Route 303 in Orangeburg. My name's Adam Farkas, and I am the project developer. With me tonight from Stantec, I have Troy Wojciechowski. From the Energy Safety Response Group, I have Paul Rogers, and from Hodgson Russ, I have Jenna Rackerby. Collectively, we've all done a lot of battery projects, both across the country and in New York, so we're here to obviously help you guys understand the process, understand the project, and get everybody comfortable with it. A brief history on the project. So I initially met this landowner back in May of 2025. We signed a letter of intent, submitted an interconnection application to Orange and Rockland, and immediately started doing our due diligence and site discovery on the property and the project. We had preliminary meetings with some of the staff at the town to introduce ourselves and introduce the project once we knew that this was a feasible project at this location. We submitted our building permit application in November 2025, our planning application originally in January of 2026. We elected to resubmit that application in May of 2026 based on comments that we received at the first PRC meeting in February. We have been working on this project for over a year. We've invested a lot of time and effort in putting together the entire application that you have before you. And we are here tonight respectfully requesting site plan review and a conditional use permit. If we could go to the next slide, please. Okay, so with battery projects, we wanted to show some examples of what they look like. Typically, these projects are out of sight, so people aren't seeing them, they're not driving by them typically. This is a project over in Westchester County. It's in Austining, New York, and it's actually located on the St. Augustine Church and School. So on the left, you can see kind of a drone photo of the project built. Those white containers are the battery enclosures. They're about 30 feet long, 6 feet wide. And then if you follow that orange arrow, you can see the satellite image of where the project is.
just an example of what one of these projects can look like. If you go to the next slide, this is just getting our bearings here. This is a Rockland County view, and you can see the red stars showing the project down in the southeast corner of the county. The next slide is within the Orangetown municipality. As you all probably know, that red star is right in the middle, and again, our project is on Route 303. The next one is going to be zoomed in. You can see the parcel outlined in blue with the red star in the middle. Again, we're on Route 303. We're between Glenshaw Street and Mountain View Ave, so we're only about a mile from here, so we're close by. This next one, zoomed all the way into the parcel. You can see the bounds of the parcel in orange, the project area to the left, the existing warehouse on the property, and the driveway coming off Route 303 to access the parcel and eventually to our project. One thing I do want to talk about here is just generally how batteries work. Basically, they're going to be connected to the Orange and Rockland grid, and during periods of low demand and high availability of energy on the grid, they're going to store up the power on the batteries. This is typically overnight. They'll store them for a period of time, and then during periods of higher demand and lower availability of electricity, that power will then get discharged back onto the grid. That's typically during the day. So it's going through one full cycle every single day, typically charging at night, storing the power, discharging it during the day. The other question I want to answer is, why are batteries needed? Everybody knows the prices and costs of electricity are going up. There's more demand on our electrical infrastructure. So putting these batteries strategically throughout the grid are going to help the grid operate at a more reliable clip. The last piece I want to touch on with this slide is just going to be generally the community benefits. We are going to help control rising electricity costs by improving the grid. We're going to be generating tax revenue by improving the property and putting this project there. Like I mentioned before, we're improving the reliability and stability of the grid. So just in general, our entire electrical infrastructure in this community is getting improved by putting these batteries onto the grid and helping it operate. We are decreasing the reliance on fossil fuel peaker power plants. And lastly, we fully expect to enter into a community host agreement with the town in some capacity. We haven't done that yet, though. If you can go to the next slide. This is just a zoomed-in site plan, again, showing that project area outlined in orange in the back of the property behind the warehouse. I just wanted to share some information about the property and the project. The property itself is over 8 acres. The project area is going to be less than 1 acre. This project does anticipate fully complying with the code and is not anticipating any waivers or variances needed. I mentioned before with the Orange and Rockland coordination, we did our preliminary studies last summer. We completed our full studies in December of 2025, so the project has been reviewed and been approved by the utility. We've also completed a lot of due diligence and site discovery on this project, like I said, since May of 2025, so we're over a year at this point. All that information is available in the application that we provided, and you can see the list of reports, plans, tests, memos in the list of exhibits that is in the narrative of the application. There are a few that I just wanted to call out. We have an emergency response plan. We have a stormwater pollution prevention plan. We have an operations and maintenance plan, a decommissioning plan, a wetland and stream delineation report. I'll just note that there's no impacts to any wetlands on the property. We have a protected species memo, a noise study, and a visual simulation, which I'll show you guys at the end of the slides. Also, with that due diligence, we coordinate with a number of jurisdictions at the federal, state, and obviously town level. Starting at the federal level, we've coordinated with the Federal Aviation Administration, Federal Emergency Management Agency, Army Corps of Engineers, National Wetlands Inventory, and the United States Fish and Wildlife Service. At the state level, we've coordinated with the Department of Environmental Conservation, New York National Heritage Program, and the Office of the New York State Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. All of that information is also in this packet, and what I want to note is that all of those jurisdictions, both at the federal and state level, have reviewed and approved the project. The next slide here, I have 4 slides just showing the existing property. This is from Route 303. This is looking northwesternly at the property. You can see the existing driveway. You can see the existing 3-phase power line, which we're proposing to connect to. And in the back, kind of behind that tree, is the existing warehouse. And again, just to reiterate, that is the driveway that we're using for this project. We are not proposing a new curb cut or a new driveway. The original plan that we submitted in January did have a new curb cut and driveway, and that's why we resubmitted in May, along with moving the battery itself. The next slide, this is again just from Route 303 looking westernly into the property. You can see the back of the warehouse, and basically the batteries will be located behind that warehouse. Next one, please. So this is on private property on the northwest corner of that existing warehouse. This is looking at the project area, so basically kind of behind that brush to the right of that, I think it may be a dumpster, and where the gravel pad is, that's where we're proposing to put the project. But this is just a site from on the ground on the parcel. The next one, this is just from the opposite side. This is the southwest corner of the warehouse. There are staging materials back there. There's parking. You can see the access road leads back there, and you can see the warehouse to the right. So again, that's just giving you an idea of what it looks like behind that property and at the back of that property behind that warehouse right now. This is the visual simulation that I mentioned earlier, showing the entire property, showing the warehouse, the driveway that we're accessing off Route 303, and then the proposed location of the project behind the warehouse. We just had a consultant draw this up just to get a visual kind of understanding of what it could look like. It won't exactly be like that, but that should just give you an idea of where the project is located in respect to the warehouse on the property. The last thing I'll say, I obviously have this team up here with me. Troy is from Stantec. They are our civil engineers. They've supported us in putting the designs together, the drainage features, the stormwater, so he's here to support that. Paul is from ESRG. They put together emergency response plans. They are the safety experts on this project. And then I have Jenna, who's obviously helping me from a compliance and legal point of view. But we are here to work with you on the project, answer any questions that you may have. And with that, I will turn it back over to you and the board. Thank you.
Okay. Let me go through the consultant's reports. Well, first of all, let me ask, I have a couple questions I want to ask. Have you considered any type of train derailment and how that would affect your project? The train tracks are right there. And if there was one picture you could see was during the winter, the train tracks are actually above where this would be.
We consider that. We considered that area, and originally the battery project was almost where the white box says existing warehouse in that open field, but that would have required a new curb cut and driveway. So by using the existing driveway and accessing the project in the back and also keeping it out of sight from Route 303, we thought this was a better location. We will obviously consider and take into consideration that it's close to a railroad, yes.
That's a pretty active freight line.
Yes,
And there's a lot of
CSX, I
trains
believe,
on that.
Yep.
And also, have you considered, God forbid something were to happen, the prevailing winds, what would happen? Because right across the railroad tracks is a university.
Behind the plastic company there. I
If
think
you
maybe.
see the warehouse, you
Yep.
see your batteries, and the railroad tracks, on the other side of that is a university, a school.
Yes, we've considered that. We have some reports from past from engineers that have studied when there have been incidents on these projects, as rare as they are. And we have the air monitoring reports from those projects, and they've essentially said that all the air monitoring that they've done has come in under the regulatory limits. I think with any kind of, if anything happens, whether it's at this project, the warehouse, the Werfen building to the north, or the plastic company across the railroad, I mean, we're all next to each other. So tests have shown that air quality is going to be similar to any kind of structure fire, any kind of typical smoke that's generated from an event.
Why don't you put these, excuse me, near the high-tension lines? Instead of in an area like this, because we have overhead lines all over the place, why aren't they near them?
So the voltage that they're going to interconnect to, that's that medium voltage point of I think it's 12.5 kV, and that's where those power lines from Route 303 are, so we're matching that. We don't connect these projects to high voltage. Usually, if you're doing something that's connecting to 69 kV or something big, like the huge towers, it's gonna be a project 10 times the size. It's not gonna be this small. A project of this size is for this voltage here. I know there are bigger battery projects in other parts of the countries that do connect to transmission lines. We're connecting to distribution lines.
All right. Let me go through reports. Office of Building and Zoning and Planning, Rick Oliver, June 3rd. He has 20 comments. Okay, you also have a letter February 25th, 2026, Rick Oliver, and he has 26 comments. I have a letter from the Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, Town of Orangetown, June 19th. He has 5 plus 5, so 5 and 5 sub. No, I take it back. I had a page in between. Has 32 comments. I have a letter from the Bureau of Fire Prevention, June 5th, 4 comments. I have a letter from Collier Engineering, June 9th. Overall, the proposed stormwater management plan meets the intent of the regulation, and therefore we recommend the Orangeburg Best 1-1A-1B site plan be approved for drainage, subject to the above project comments, of which there are 12. I have a letter from Rockland County Department of Planning, June 18th. They have 15 comments. A letter from Alfred Gaddy, which is Orange and Rockland, June 1. I cannot locate the revised submission drawings, but if they were the same as the previous sent plans attached, there should not be any gas conflicts for the proposed work. I have a letter from Tipping Bethane, a letter pertaining to it, it's an environmental analyst. I have a letter from Rockland County Planning of May 21st, consenting Town of Orangetown Planning Board Service Lead Agent. I have a letter from Rockland County Planning Department, May 21st, consenting comments attached. I have a full EAF dated June 11th, 26. And I have a memo from Santec dated January 12th, 26, which basically, it's a project narrative. And I think that's it. Anything else, Audrey? No,
There's a site plan narrative prepared by Santa,
Yeah, I did that.
received May 1st.
Oh, must be 2 of them?
Was a revision.
Yes, May 1st, 26, okay, which is site plan narrative.
There should have been a package shoved
Yeah.
in there, those are from previous postponements.
Right, I'm gonna do that now. Excuse me. I have a letter from Office of Building and Zoning and Planning, Rick Oliver, January 25th, 26, with 26 comments. I have a letter from Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, Town of Orangetown, March 10th, 26. And he has 32 comments. Department of Fire Prevention, January 24th, have 6 comments. I have a letter from Paul DeGance, March 10th, 7 comments. I have a letter from Collier Engineering, February 23rd. Due to the comments above, additional clarification information is necessary before we can recommend Orangeburg Best be approved for drainage. There's 2 comments. I have another letter from Rockland County Department of Planning, March 4th.
16.
They have 16 comments. A letter from Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, February 25th. They have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 comments. I have a letter from Rockland County Environmental Health, March 9th. Just a letter. Another letter from Alfred Gaddy, February 12th. And another letter from Rockland County Planning, February 6th, comments attached, and Rockland County Planning, February 6th, consenting Town of Orangetown to serve as lead agent. Okay,
One more,
Audrey, anything else? Okay. Oh, and, New York State DOT, stating, dated, January 10th, 2026, consenting Town of Orangetown Planning Board, serve as lead agent.
Okay, and we have a whole bunch of other things. You want me to read them off, or?
Yeah.
Stantec, PB application letter from May 1st, 26. Stantec, secret Part 2 evaluation support memo dated 4/22/26. Stantec, response to agency comments 5/1/26. Stantec Consulting Services and Sole Source Power Site Plan Narrative 5/1/26. ESRG, Exhibit B, Emergency Response Plan dated 4/14/26. ESRG, Stantec, Exhibit I, Noise Study 4/24/26. Stantec, Exhibit J, Visual Simulation Record, received 5/24/26.
Yeah. Thank you. Andy?
Clean energy. You stated that in one of your letters that these are supposed to be clean energy. Where does the energy come from to charge the batteries?
Comes from the,
Solar power?
it can come from
Where
renewables.
where does the energy come from for these?
It is a collection of all the energy that comes off of the grid.
Or for the grid?
Yeah,
So that's not clean energy. Correct? You're getting it from the grid, which has produced that energy from probably coal. So you can't really say that it's clean energy. It may be clean energy when the lights go out and you use the batteries to produce the electricity, correct?
yes.
So that's a little fuzzy right there when you say clean energy. How many houses can this support? Or, well, you're putting it in an industrial area. How many of those factories can this support?
For the industrial areas, it's hard to say with the amount of energy required to run those.
So how many houses can you support?
So generally, I think a 5 megawatts can provide enough energy for 100 to 1,000 homes.
100 to 1,000 homes. That's a big range.
depending on how much energy those are consuming. We can get you better, more detailed numbers for this specific project in this specific area to give you more clear answers.
How many
But there's-
how many megawatts did these produce?
This is a 15 megawatt system,
15 megawatts.
correct?
So you could produce enough electricity to support a small data center, correct?
I don't know how much power a data center is going to pull.
Do you have, what type of battery is this? What is it, a lithium ion?
Correct.
What are your safety features to put out the fire if these catch fire? What are you gonna do?
So I'll ask Paul to help me. He is an expert in this. He works for ESRG. ESRG has put together our emergency response plan. We also have a hazard mitigation analysis, which they've helped us put together, a code compliance review that they've helped us put together. And we actually just got, from our last meeting with the PRC, a request to do a more detailed event protocol for them. That came out this week. I dropped that off here at the town for Chief Gordon to review. But I'll let you, Paul, jump in and.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers of safety. We'll start off with the product itself. It's a listed product. Each time you get a listing, from the cell to the module, which is a group of cells, to the actual container, it has its own listing, which means it looks at a lot of different things, where the National Recognized Testing Laboratory will look at each component in the actual battery itself to make sure that it is following the guidelines on what they do for the listing itself. That's a performance listing. They also have, the big thing that they look at is the battery management system. So that's the eyes and ears of the battery itself. It's looking at the state of health of the battery constantly, and they are programmed to shut things down when things are out of parameters, whether it's going to be a overheat or something of that sort, and it can remotely shut it down and send a ticket to them to have the system either repaired or maintained or something like that.
But, all right, so it has safety features built into it. What happens if those safety features don't work?
Well, and it depends on the type of failure. For instance, one of the listings is UL 1973, which is a single-cell failure, where in order to get that listing, you actually fail a cell in a module. So a module is made up of a group of cells, and you have to show there's no propagation. So if you had a single cell, there would be no spread of the heat transfer from cell to cell. So that's, again, going down to one of the performance tests that is out there as part of the safety features itself.
What I'm saying is, what happens if all of that fails? A lithium-ion battery in a Tesla takes 5,000 gallons of water to put it out.
Yeah,
These are a lot bigger than Tesla batteries.
yeah. And
What is this-
and
what is the safeguard?
it's a futile effort. If you take a look at the U.S. Department of Transportation Emergency Response Guide that each fire truck or police department or ambulance has in there, it will tell you that as long as there's no exposures in the area, you can let the system you can let the car, you reference the car, just burn out. You're not saving it any. This is a typical procedure that most fire departments have in place. I did 25 years with the New York City Fire Department. That is something that they have in place where they know they're not going to be putting it out. So what they're going to do is it's just going to allow it to actually burn off any stranded energy that may be there. That's typical with other energy sources that we have. Propane, when you have leaking propane, we burn off the energy if we can't actually shut down the cylinder. I did that a couple of times in the middle of Manhattan. So burning off energy is not something that is unfamiliar with the fire departments.
Okay. How many batteries are there? How many batteries will you have? It looks like, from the rendition here, it looks like there's a lot of batteries there.
It'll be 15 containers.
15 containers. And they're what, 6 foot by 30 foot?
Yes,
And 6 foot high, or how high?
7 or 8 feet.
I have nothing further right now.
Okay, Lisa, questions?
I was gonna ask about the fire, the safety. I know the fire inspector, Dave Majeski, he's asking specifically where is Stantec's emergency response team physically located, and what would be your ETA to get to the site if there was an emergency?
So I'll let you chime in as well. But that was a question that came up at the last PRC meeting 2 weeks ago. And the fire event protocol that ESRG put together between then and now, which I think you just finished it earlier this week, and then I dropped off with Chief Gordon earlier today. But essentially what it's saying is we don't, if ESRG is the crew that is responding for us, it's not gonna, they're gonna be the crew that have people. They have people locally in Rockland County. So by code, we are required to be on the phone and on the phone within 15 minutes, and then on site within 4 hours. And when we had that last PRC meeting, they were just asking for a little bit more detail. So Paul and his team have people in Rockland County in surrounding areas. So you're definitely gonna get somebody on the phone within 15 minutes, and the likelihood of a person in Rockland County getting to the site, throwing out traffic is probably 30 minutes. So it's gonna be a relatively quick response to have people on the ground. And that was something we clarified at the last PRC meeting. It's not necessarily gonna be Stantec's team that responds. It's likely gonna be someone like Paul and his team with the SRG.
So I know he's asking, it's saying here that the emergency response plan is that firefighting operations can't commence until your response team is on site. So, like, what would that look like? So if our firefighters show up, they can't do anything? They have to sit and wait for you?
No, they can be guided on the phone, and here's how it works. This concept has already been put in place in New York City. We know it works, because we've done it. Where you have a closed-circuit TV there, where you can actually get a view of the system itself. You can get that right on your computer. You can also get access to the battery management system that I mentioned before, where you can look at the state of health of the battery at that particular time. You can give guidance, that subject matter expert can give guidance right over the telephone if there needs to be any type of offensive action. As we always like to say, if there's very little to gain, there's very little effort that we're going to put in there. We're not saving this thing once it goes on fire. So we may want to just hit the surrounding areas and allow that to burn out. And there's a couple of reasons why we do that. Number one, the doors are locked. We don't want the fire department going up there to cut the locks off the door to get a hose line into an electrical component. That doesn't work so well. So we ask them and we discourage them from doing that. Number two, what we have seen is when water is added in there, it may darken down the fire, but it will come back, and it actually prolongs the incident from continuing to burn and sustain the burnout on that end. So there's a couple of reasons why we tell them they can if they want to, but understand the repercussions as a result of doing that. And that's where the training comes in. And the code actually adopted that annual training has to take place, paid for by the developer on a yearly basis.
So you'll train the fire department?
That they have to be trained.
That was my next question. Okay. And the noise study, so how loud are these things? Like yeah.
So the first thing I'll say, it's within the compliance of the code. With this specific property and why it's a good property for this project, it's not gonna be louder than any of the surrounding properties, specifically just typical traffic on Route 303. If you went back into the private property and stood next to it, you're just gonna hear the fans running, kind of like a typical air conditioning unit, and they're just keeping the system heated up in the cold weather, cooled down in the hot weather. But typically, just like an air conditioning system. And all it is fans. But from any public point, on Route 303, you're not going to hear them.
And there's no employees, no extra traffic, nobody's going to be there, right?
No, it's an unmanned facility. Once it's built, like Paul alluded to, we have a lot of remote monitoring 24/7. But once it's built, it's designed to sit there and store power for the utility.
Okay. And then I have a question for our board. One of the comments, the email from the DEC, are we asking the DEC to do secret lead agent, that they're going to be the lead agent for secra, or are we gonna do secra?
This board will be the lead agent. No way the DEC.
That's what I thought, I was looking at.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. This board will be the lead agency.
Yeah, okay. I thought her email response, I might have misread it, so, okay. That's what I was confused about. I have no other questions.
Want my attention to what you're looking at?
Yeah. From Bethany Tipping, we sent her a request, a secra lead agency request for the project?
I think what she's referring to is just our letter that we send out to everyone.
Oh, okay.
They concur that we'll be the lead agency.
Okay.
I believe that's what that.
Okay. Yep, no other questions.
Good evening. Just a few bookkeeping right off the bat. The FEAF, I see revised it, used the 2026 revised edition. Okay, page 2, B, add planning board and the IUC, Industrial Use Committee, should be on that, in that box. Page 3, C4A, it's the South Orangetown School District, not Orangetown. Okay, C4B, it's Orangetown PD, not Orangeburg. And, okay, on page 8, D2M1, it says, during the operation, the batteries may exceed town noise thresholds of 80 dBA at the same source during the day and 50 ends, and then it ends, it doesn't say night or whatever. However, the Stantec command response, 5126, page 3, number 26, states the noise level is expected to be within the parameter of the code, which is the, I don't know what they're writing in the FEAF, but it doesn't match what the Stantec command response said, or comment response said.
We will update the EAF. It is designed and is within compliance with the code.
Okay, all right.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, and in response to the noise too, are you gonna be, I think you mentioned it somewhere in there on page 4 of one of the reports from Stantec, the acoustic block on the perimeter of the fence, the whole operation?
It won't be the entire fence line. Right now, we're designing it on the western and southern sides to bring it within that compliance of the code, so
Okay,
that
western,
there is
okay, western be towards the railroad tracks, southern towards the,
car wash.
yeah, car wash. Okay.
Yep.
Ready. You already answered that about the powers from the grid, not totally 100%. We can't tell exactly where it came from. Okay, Stantec memo dated January 12, 26, page 3, under Project Safety and Emergency Responses. Bullet 2, it says automated suppression protocols regarding lithium-ion battery. Exactly what is the protocol? It mentions.
For what, sorry?
It says here, they talk about an automated suppression protocols.
Okay. Do you want to take that one, Paul?
And whose report is that in?
That's Stantec's memo dated January 12, 26.
Yeah, there is some of the cabinets may come with a clean agent on the inside of them. They're not going to put the battery out. They will put maybe an electrical component out, possibly, and some do not. So we recommend, we personally don't like to have any type of suppressant inside there. And there's many reasons why we don't. New York City Fire Department does also try to extract them out of there. They really don't want them in there, but people have the option.
Okay, and which way is it the plan go now? They're going to use something, a suppression within it, or not within it?
It's not required in the code to have it.
But are you putting it in? That's the question.
We do not have it designed in right now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because at the project review, I was just looking at the fire suppression system. You said that Tesla does not have one, but remotely monitored and can be shut down?
Correct.
Okay, that's accurate, okay.
And it's not recommended.
All right. Okay, that was the other thing. I think you partially answered it. Bureau of Fire Prevention comments dated February 24th to 26th and June 5th to 26th. They asked, where is the emergency response team physically located? So you do have representatives within Rockland County?
Yes.
Is there always somebody 24 hours a day that's available, that's
On call? or-
on call?
I'll let Paul take that one again.
Yeah, we have 8, and by the end of the week, we'll have 9 responders in the general area around here.
Okay, but there'll be somebody available?
Yeah, we have a 24-hour number for them to call.
Okay. Okay. Okay, you state the team will respond within 4 hours, right? The Sanitex response comments, page 8, number 4, dated May 1st, 26. And the same reports, page 2, number 20 states the battery fires usually last 3 to 4 hours. So you're saying if the fire starts, what happens at the scene, somebody will be on the phone within 15 minutes to assist, and somebody should be responding, depending on traffic, within about 30 minutes, okay? So in case, you have a fire explosion with the release of smoke with toxic gases, response plan, page 18 under fire protection systems, explosive protection, following combustion of the gases by sparker system. What gases are generated, and are they toxic?
Can you comment that one?
So the gas is generated, there is a test required, it's called UL 9548, it's large-scale fire testing, where they actually take the cell, they puncture the cell, they do it in an inert chamber, they take it, and they wind up looking at all the constituents of smoke that comes out of that through a sophisticated machine. And it gives you the breakdown of what's inside the smoke itself. That can be and should be as part of the submission to the fire marshal for them to take a look at. This one, I know some of them, most of it is either hydrogen, CO, and CO2 is probably about 75% of, or maybe 80% of the actual constituents of smoke that comes out of it.
Okay, but there's also some hydrocarbons that...
Yeah, there's small
methane.
amounts of, hydrocarbons that may come out of it, yeah.
Yeah, if you're giving it to them, we'd like to see it here too, or we give it to the fire people as part of the submission.
Yeah, it should be, if the fire prevention officer asks for that, it's got to be part of the submission itself.
Would you ask them to request it? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, now, page 22, 6.1, thermal runaway. Paragraph 2, potentially explosive gases may be released in large quantities. What gases are they, the same gases? Are we talking about, what gases are generated, the thermal runaway?
Yes, those are the gases that I'm specifically talking about, is from the cell and the cell alone.
Okay. Yeah, when we get the additional information, we'd like to know in my opinion, we'd like to know the gases that are involved in it specifically.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that was the same gases that I was
Right,
just.
but you said there were other ones, but you're going to give the fire...
A fire department, yeah, we'll make sure that they get a copy.
And we
of that,
get a
sure.
copy too, whatever they
Sure.
get it.
I know Tesla's pretty, they don't really want this out to many people because it's IP, so we'll have to work out a deal on that.
Yeah,
and,
okay,
because they do have an engineering report,
right,
so, yeah.
okay. All right, again, okay, now you talk about on page 28, you state, and this is in the response plan, 100-foot radius be maintained between the best enclosure and personnel. And the question is, if there's toxic gases that are harmful to humans or an explosion might occur, what steps would be taken to evacuate the area? Because I didn't see anything in the response plan about evacuation. So what would the on-site commander in that situation be doing?
Yeah, so as mentioned earlier, the products of combustion that come out of the battery energy storage system are very much in line with what we see with a structural fire. So I would always recommend that the incident commander do what he would do for, or she would do for a structure fire. And most things, and I've never in my 25 years with the New York City Fire Department ever did an evacuation based on products of combustion. And I've been to 5 events, and we did not have any need to have any type of evacuation.
Okay, because there was a fire, it was in southern Jersey, I couldn't find the information again, but they talked about where there was gases released that did affect the local area, or that it was tested and it was above the acceptable limits.
So just like any structural fire,
Oh, yeah.
you're going to see that, sure. And, during my time, again, people on the street watching us put the fire out, they're
People
grabbing
always
some of the
stand
stuff.
around,
Yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, if anything, we would recommend that people just go inside their house and close the windows and just kind of button up and just stay out of the
Does your
smoke.
response team have air monitoring?
We do. We do have air
And you
monitoring.
come with it?
Yeah, we
Okay.
come with them air monitoring.
Right. So if there was an evacuation or stating, close the windows, stay inside, I guess the winds would affect that. Now, would you include Dominican University? Because their dorms are right across when you cross the railroad tracks, partially it's covered by a roof, but part of it, there's a small substation there, and then you have the university there. The university has its dorms there, and they're 24/7. So I was just wondering, has we contacted the university security or anything like that? Should something occur? If something really happened there, something big, is there something in the protocols or the response plan that would coordinate with the security from the university?
I'll let, excuse me, I'll let Paul follow up with this, but I think with any kind of incident in this area, given the proximity of Dominican University,
Yeah.
that incident commander and subject matter expert that is there is making that determination. We can't say every time something.
No, but I'm just saying,
But
are
we
they
would
part of
be
the-
in,
Yeah.
yes.
Be part of the plan. If something, then you would contact so-and-so, so at least it would be in the plan to whoever. I mean, the on-site commander that shows up, he's not gonna have all the information at his fingertips, and he may, do something to that effect just to ensure, because they do have, I think there's 3 buildings there that are occupied during school on that. There's the gymnasium, but you have one south of it, and you have 2 buildings north of it. Aloof is in between, but it's not that much of a distance when you talk. Where Aloof is, it's mostly their parking area before you get to their building area there.
And we're also working with the town fire department.
Right.
So it's gonna be a combination of the resources. It's
Yeah.
not just gonna be us,
Oh,
or
no,
just
no.
gonna be them. We're all gonna
No.
work together.
But it's that check-off list.
Yep.
Should make sure everybody's notified. Okay. You have the monitoring equipment. Okay, now, page 29, the response plan state after a fire, there's continuous monitoring that should be provided due to possibility that can reignite if there is a fire. Is that provided by your company, or?
Yeah, and that's really the whole reason behind what was put into the code, is the hazard support team is there to basically the handoff after the fire department leaves the scene. We don't want them sitting around wondering if this thing's gonna reignite, so the hazard support team would be the fire watch.
Okay.
That's the goal behind that, because we have seen in testing, sometimes they do reignite.
Yes. Like any fire, normally if other fires, you gotta watch for it to reignite too.
Yes.
Okay, in connection with the noise, Stantec provided a noise study dated 4/24/26 under local noise requirements, paragraph 5, nearest property within the R district Dominican University not expected to be in session between 10 PM and 7 AM. Just to correct it, it's 24/7 when the school is in because you have your dorms there. No, just to correct that.
We can correct that.
Okay, please, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now, the transformers, they use a mineral oil or environmental temp FR3 fluid. It's an electrical grade mineral insulating oil. It says they're thoroughly biodegradable. Are there any other oils used rather than just those? According to the specs for the transformers, they talk about that. Do they use any other oil that wouldn't be biodegradable? I'm just thinking if there's a leak in the thing.
I can double check for
Would
you.
you? Okay.
I gotta go through that spec sheet to
Yeah.
figure that out. Is that from the spec sheet, the Cooper three-phase pad mounted?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one of those.
One of the
Yeah,
exhibits?
it's one of them that they
Okay.
talk about there. I just want to know if there's any other oils, because they talk about mineral oil, the FR3 fluid. Just want to know if there's anything else,
Okay.
diesel or any other type of fluid that would require spill containment underneath each of the
Sure.
generating pads. Okay. Now, I was looking at the site plan, page C004. It says, I'm just looking for the distances from the best units to the west property line and to the existing building.
Give us 1 second, we can pull that up, but that is C004, so you're
Right.
asking from the left side of the project area to the property line?
Yeah, from the west side of the project to the property line and from the east side of the project to the building.
The closest battery to the building is 109 feet.
Okay.
And to the property line, let me just double check that if I can. That looks to be 50 feet.
50 feet. And just looking at the plan, it shows a shaded area, when you're using the common driveway there, and when you come in, right along the southern property line, you have a shaded area that goes back to an asphalt paved area in the back. Is that a new addition there?
No, that's actually a pavement repair because we're putting the underground cables through there.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
same pavement area, just repaired.
Okay. And if you happen to redo the first page of your plans, give it a little better scale on the vicinity map. It's quite a way out. I think, was it 1 inch is 2,000 feet?
Is there a scale you like? You want to see?
Just, a little, okay, so we can see it a little bit better.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Matt?
Okay, first of all, appreciate the detailed explanation in the beginning about what you're doing. The one thing I didn't pick up on, are you just basically buying low at night when there's not a lot of power and then selling it back to O&R at a higher, okay. Just so I could understand that, thank you. And then, any type of smells, I didn't hear that, any type of smells generated by the production that we're aware of?
When it's in typical operation?
Right.
No.
Okay. And is there any type of liquid cooling used at all, like the water going through here, coming back out?
It's a closed loop system.
Okay.
So it'll be within the containers of the system, helping to support that HVAC system to keep
Okay.
those fans going, keeping it heated.
But it's not going back out into the environment?
No.
It's closed loop, okay.
No.
And then, yeah, the only other thing I share with the chairman is about the location being close to the railroad tracks and the whole kind of letting it burn scenario, which I understand that's probably the best scenario, but like, is that then the best location to have it, being that close to the railroad tracks as well? And I just kind of, as
So-
we're talking through this,
Just to give a visual, Rick, if you could do slide 14. There it is up there, a little higher. Actually, it's slide 7. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it's 14. I'm getting confused by looking at it. No, keep going. Yeah, it just shows the old location versus the new location. Keep going, 2 more. There it is. Okay, so in red, that's where we originally proposed the project. There's kind of an open field there. The issue with that we had with the PRC in February was that location was gonna require a new curb cut on 303 and a whole new access road. So the ask was to try to put it in a different location where we didn't need a curb cut on 303. There's plenty of driveways out there. We don't need another one. And we could use the existing driveway that's on the property. Also putting the batteries in the back. They're out of sight. We felt like that was the best location for it, but,
Okay.
you know, there are considerations with both of them, but I think this area in the back is better than the first one.
All right, I understand.
Okay.
That's all I had. Something, Chairman?
If you're, want to put the batteries in the back now, and you're using the existing curb cut,
Yes.
why can't you still use the existing curb cut and just go around and put them on the side? And just go, where the batteries are.
The access is-
Proposed now, go behind that and go up the side. Because I'm really afraid with the, you're very close to the tracks.
The other thing to consider is just the overall disturbance of the site that would require. You would have, and you're talking bringing the road around where it says new project area, going around
Right,
where the
up to the
proposed
side.
areas and, you know, kind of doing a big
Just
U.
put in a road there. I mean, you could
Yeah.
take your utilities out.
We can't, actually. We would have to, if we connect to the existing 3-phase power line that's out on Route 303 where that existing curb cut, the utility needs a curb. They need a driveway to go in. So that's why bringing the interconnection poles over to the existing driveway, they have that driveway, they have all that asphalt, they have all that parking lot that they can use. We would end up almost having to do a complete U, and it would just be a lot more disturbance.
I'm just very upset with the location.
Overhead.
I mean, what would happen if the loop went on fire next to the train tracks? It would be a similar scenario, right?
Yeah.
We would have, we don't know what.
I think I can comment maybe. First of all, if the fire department needed to put water on it, we didn't tell them they can never put water on it. We're just saying that, you know, the advantages of not using water. The other thing I want to also mention is that we've worked with this numerous times in the city of New York, and we did a heat flux analysis. So a heat flux analysis is basically how far that radiant heat's going to go out, right, where it's going to start to have an effect on things that are outside the actual perimeter. And what we look at it from a human point of view, right, we have to get to a certain temperature where it starts to affect the person that they get a sunburn. They're not going to get burned, no personal protective equipment at all. So we stop it at where a person who would be standing next to that heat would get like a sunburn. They wouldn't get any 2nd or 3rd degree burn or anything like that. And the measurements that we have, and we can put that there for you, is 28 feet. We've given that to the New York Fire. They confirmed that on their end by doing a heat flux analysis for one of the containers on that end. And it just gives you a context on how far that heat will travel, if that was your concern.
No, I understand. It's just like you're locked in with the fire track, with the railroad tracks on the one side where you're in an open lot on the other. It seems like just logically it'd be better to have it in an open lot, but I'm not hung up on it right now.
The PRC just said the opposite.
Yeah, okay.
Dave?
I'll keep it brief. Matt asked my question for me, but I just wanted to expand a little bit. Forgive my ignorance on the how this formula works exactly, but essentially your commodity is energy. You're buying cheap energy, and the hope is to have some type of lease or contract with the town. How is the energy going to be sold, I guess?
It'll all be coordinated directly with Orange and Rockland. So we basically do a preliminary study, which we did last summer. That answers the first question of can you interconnect a project there? Then we do a full coordinated electrical system interconnection review with Orange and Rockland. That's what I referenced earlier, was completed in December, and essentially approving the project. And then we'll enter enter into an interconnection service agreement with Orange and Rockland for the project. There won't be any agreement with the town. Does that
I'm just
answer?
trying to figure out how I can break this down on a large scale, and I was thinking, like an external battery pack for my phone. Would that be something similar? This is on a large scale?
A little bit,
Okay.
a little bit.
Tesla chargers at Whole Foods.
Okay.
Go to a Whole Foods and there's a car charger there. It's like, imagine that exact charger, or at a hospital, the back of Walmart, every grocery store has a battery.
All right.
And so it's like, imagine just like 3 of those.
All right, I saw the lifespan of the battery is what, 20 to 25 years? If they're
Typically, yeah,
maintained
20 to
properly?
25 years, yes.
All right, so at that point, I'm guessing the lease would be up and you would reassess, or?
Yeah, we have kind of options to extend. We have, I mentioned the decommissioning plan that's in here. A decommissioning bond will have to be also have to be put in place. But yes, there'll be options to extend it. Typically, we just only model these at 20 years. Before you probably have to come in and upgrade some of the systems. We see this with, solar projects that we've developed. After 20 years, you have to come in, change out the inverters, just upgrade things. Things are changing every year, so in 20 years, there's going to be better, more efficient equipment that will.
Are there any other plans to not just expand on this site, but in the county or the town, any future
Yes.
sites?
Yeah, I mean, these projects are needed to help the utility operate. The state of New York has asked for these projects to be developed and connected to the grid, so we're working in Orange and Rockland territory. We are across the river over in Westchester County, NYSEG territory, upstate, National Grid, so we're all across New York State, and these projects are all across the country as well, so.
My last question would be, this project you're talking about here, is this the normal scale? Is this small? Is this
Yeah.
large?
This is kind of typical. There are some, I mentioned it earlier, out west in Arizona or Texas that are huge. Those, you get to a point where you have to start interconnecting to like transmission lines at a much higher voltage. You may have to build a switching station and a substation in order to connect to that. We like to say small at the distribution level, and that's what this is.
This is atypical what you're doing in the East Coast. Okay.
Yes, very typical.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Matt?
You mentioned that it was 15 megawatts?
Correct.
Is capacity, and you use that every day?
Yeah, so typically, it's 15 megawatts. The way it is, it'll all be charged up and then discharged, so it'll run through one cycle every 24 hours.
So you're pulling 15 megawatts every night and then releasing it during the day?
Correct.
What sort of, I know that, you help the grid, you make the grid, I guess, more balanced. But in terms of like energy, what is the benefit specifically to the town? Like, what will we see? I mean, I know broadly speaking, it could keep energy prices down, but is there a way to quantify?
We can get some additional information to help, if you want to see numbers. I mean, it's generally.
It's just out of curiosity.
Yeah, there's generally a growing higher demand on our entire electrical infrastructure, right? And as there are car charging electrical vehicles,
Right.
like it is becoming, so the grid needs to catch up.
Yeah, they want to electrify furnaces.
Yes, so without batteries, with that demand rising, it puts a strain on like a fossil fueled peaker power plant. So when the utility needs that power, they have to call those fossil fuel power plants and fire them up. Those
Right.
are extremely expensive.
So in the summer, you're storing energy overnight when
Yeah.
people aren't running their air conditioners.
Correct, exactly.
And they're doing laundry.
Yeah.
And then during the day, it releases.
Yeah, and then everybody turns their air conditioning on when it's very warm, and that's when we now have, for the utility, we have 15 megawatts of available capacity, should they need
So
it.
on an annual basis, is 15 times 365 is how much
Yeah,
you're
each-
releasing into?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a significant amount of electricity.
Yes, and to go back to your first question, I can get you a better number on exactly like, how many houses how many houses a fully charged 15 megawatt system could power if the grid went out.
Yeah, because that is like data center territory numbers wise, right? Right, because I think 100,000, 300,000 megawatts a year is what,
It was something like that.
yeah, so 15 times 365. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I don't know what the data center is pulling specifically.
I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, we can give you some numbers to help just say, you know, a 5 megawatt system.
It's like
if the-
trying to explain to your kid like the distance between the Earth and the moon.
Yeah,
it's
no,
sort of-
I'm
it's-
with you.
You need like a marble and a basketball and.
Yep.
Right. Okay,
No, we can do
yeah.
that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bruce, anything? All right. I just have one more question.
Go ahead.
The battery goes bad, how do you dispose of it?
It's recycled. If it goes bad just from normal operation. So typically after that 20-year lifespan, say we buy a Tesla battery, we would return it to Tesla. They have the services to take all the equipment back, properly recycle it by law.
How about if it's destroyed in a fire? How do
They'll-
you dispose of the rest of it?
They will do the same thing. They will support us in returning the equipment, recycling the equipment. I'm sure they'll probably want to study if there's an issue that happened, on why it happened. But basically, whoever we buy the equipment back will take the equipment back and properly recycle it following the laws.
Can I have a motion to open up to the public?
Motion to open public portion?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None, okay. Anybody from the public wish to speak on this? Yes, okay, do me a favor, again, 3 minutes. Speak in the microphone. Once you're done, please sign the sheet, and, yes, sir, go ahead.
Good to go. Okay, my name is David Marsh, M-A-R-T, resident at 81 McKenna Street, Florida. So I live about a mile, less than a mile from the facility. By the way, data centers are rated in gigawatts. Oh, somebody turned it off?
Yeah. Here we
Okay,
go.
do you want me to start over? No. Okay. Data centers are typically rated in gigawatts, so like an order of 1,000 times larger than what we're talking about here, just as a point of perspective. So anyway, first, thanks for the opportunity to speak here tonight. As a Blauvelt resident, I recognize the need to have these these storage centers because the grid only has so much capacity, and these things will help prolong the grid to keep doing its thing before O&R has to come in and replace it with something bigger and more expensive. But I am concerned about the technology they're using. I heard a lot about lithium-ion batteries tonight, which we all know are notoriously difficult to handle. And we don't live in New York City. We live here with volunteer firefighters. I'll remind you all, although I doubt I need to, we're all familiar with what happened in Orange County when a company called Convergent, their BES caught on fire. 2 days it burned. The volunteer firefighters had to stand back and do nothing but watch for 2 days. Their schools were closed for 2 days because of the concern about hazardous gases. In Orange County, they measured hydrogen cyanide as a gas being released by the fire. So it's not theoretical. Hazardous gases are released when these things catch on fire. So anyway, in an ideal world, I'd suggest we go with something like lead-acid batteries. Of course, Tesla's not in that business, but lead-acid is a proven battery technology. Okay, maybe they'd have to replace the batteries more often, but unfortunately what we're hearing is a proposition where you go with the cheaper alternative, but we take a risk as a community with fire safety instead. And Tesla Megapack XLs, which is what the drawing said, have caught on fire. So regardless of what you hear about the controllers, we're all limited with the failure to imagine. Tesla units have caught on fire. So regardless of the controllers, they can have been proven to do it. The site location, as we already said, is very close to the college, which may very well have to be evacuated during a fire. I'd ask the town to ensure that all alternative locations have been considered. South Greenbush Road has warehouses that back up to Clawson Mountain. A fire there doesn't get exposed to the same amount of residents that a fire would by the college. And just consider, Yeah,
just
consider, all right, the last thing I'd suggest is a town require a performance bond, so if an evacuation is necessary, that money could be used to compensate the college and anybody else who has to be evacuated for perhaps several days while the fire burns out. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, Sanjay. Anyone else? One more time. Anybody else wish to speak on this project? Hearing none, a motion to close?
Motion to close public portion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. I'm gonna do the first thing is, make a motion for lead agent. This way we,
Motion for lead agent.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay. I don't know. I mean, there's so much that we don't know. I think you gotta go back and you gotta give us a lot more information. You really do.
You probably should. Bring it, okay, all right.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Mandel makes a suggestion, I think it's a great idea, is, I'd like to have a motion that we engage, AKRF to, research this on our side.
What are they gonna pay for it?
Yeah, and the applicant will pay for it. Okay,
Will
do I
the
have a-
applicant pay for it?
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye, any opposed? None.
Asking for a consultant for what purpose again? To look into the energy issues, the safety issues, or just?
There really are so many unanswered questions. What's gonna happen if, God forbid, a fire happens? What's gonna happen if we get a train derailment? I first had said I didn't like the location where it is. I think a better location would be, because you, close proximity to the railroad tracks and to the university. That bothers me. And I think there's a lot of unanswered questions as to, if something happens, what, chemicals, what comes out of these fires, and nobody knows. They really don't know.
We will give you, answer every single question and get all the information that we can to help you with that. I mean, that's what this
Right.
is here. I mean, it's 1,500 pages of studies and plans and reports that we've put together. I do think we have a good idea on what happens for these projects. We're working with the energy, Paul and his team. They wrote the code. Nobody knows it better than them. They've put together all of our reports, including that emergency response plan, hazard mitigation analysis. They also have a review of our project to make sure that it complies with every single code that's out there. And then the fourth one that I've mentioned, they just put together yesterday, over the past 2 weeks, but it was delivered to us yesterday in a draft form, because the PRC wanted more information on the specifics of a response. And that was put together, and I handed that to the town. I gave it to Audrey earlier today for Chief Gordon to review. So we are trying to collaboratively work with you, work with the fire department to establish that level of comfort. So anything that is missing, just let us know and we'll get it.
What we're looking for is to get an outside consultant in who can review everything and give us the information that we need in order to do a CEQA review. Because without a proper CEQA review, we can't go anywhere. So that's why we're looking for AKRF to come in. You'd have to agree to pay for it in order for us to bring it in.
We just have to talk about how much, just so I understand what we're talking about. This is new information, so we're absolutely willing to work with you on
Yeah.
this. I just need.
Asking us to pay for it is not technically.
Code does authorize this board to retain, you don't even need your approval. Town code does authorize this board, if they need expertise.
I will send you the quote that we obtained.
Okay.
And then that way you can, see it, and that way come to it.
Sure.
Come to agreement with your,
Yeah.
It's a good town.
We don't know. This is the first time. It's like.
Absolutely.
Like
No,
when
we
you get
want
your
to
first
answer
baby,
those.
No,
I just had
can't
mine a
drop
year
it,
ago.
you know?
No,
If I
I
drop
know,
it,
you
do I
walk
hurt it, you
around,
know?
it's very scary, so.
It is.
That's why we've got all these reports. And it's a lot of information, so just tell us what you need to know, we will get you the
I've read-
information.
I've read
We
through
will-
quite
we
a,
will do that.
I've
I
read
mean,
through,
Conversation's
I've
going
read,
on.
yeah, I've read through quite a bit of your manual.
Thank you, I
The
can tell.
response, the different items in
I
there.
appreciate that.
There's stuff in there that we'd like to have an outside consultant come in.
Sure.
And look at it and see if they see there's no problems or there's certain things, because the secret thing, it's a larger report than it was. They added on things into it,
Yeah.
so
No, we did.
that's what we have to do, and then do a part two to look at the whole thing. So that's what we're looking at, so that we can make a proper response that's going to, give you what you expect, what your rights are, what the rights are of the town, what the law states, what's the best thing for the community. So that's why we're looking for an outside consultant.
Yeah, totally understandable. I obviously developed these, so I know a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit more, but,
Basically new to us.
and that's why we provide all of this information. That's why we bring this team. So we're here to, like I said at the beginning, we're here to answer your questions, talk about your concerns. We submitted this in January. We went to the PRC, and they said, we don't like the new road, we don't like the location, so we moved it. We're totally willing to do anything that we can to make everybody more comfortable about this project. So we're here to work with you.
Excuse me. So the best thing to do is for you to ask, in my opinion, to ask for a continuation, to get the consultant in, for you to supply them whatever information they need for them to get the whole thing done and get back to us, and then we can set you up for another meeting, all right? Because like I said, this is a brand-new thing for everybody. We don't know what the hell we're doing.
I
And
understand.
we don't want to screw it up, the first one up, because once you screw the first one up, the second one you screw up. So we want to make sure this is done right,
Okay, no, that's totally fair.
okay? So you got to ask for a continuation,
I-
if that's what you want.
Well, I will ask for a continuation.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Did the board actually vote on the consultant yet?
Yes, we did.
Okay, yeah, we did.
Do we have that, Audrey?
Yeah.
Mandel made the motions and
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Audrey.
All right.
So what, the next step is,
Get the
Take care
consultant
of it,
involved,
review.
and
Yeah.
they come up with a report, and then we go from there.
okay,
In the meantime, take a look at the comments from the different agencies.
Yeah.
The more you answer, the less that there are left over, the faster that the project moves forward.
yeah, and what we did after the first PRC meeting in that May submission is we answered every single one of them. So we'll do that again now that we have do we have all the comments? Everything had to be in by today, so we'll work through that and provide a response on
Yeah, I
every
know
single
you've
question.
answered some of the questions regarding the response time and that since the last PRC meeting. If there's somebody available in Rockland 24 hours a day, they can get on the phone within 15 minutes, so that at least the people, the on-site coordinator, commander, or whatever you want to call it,
Sure.
will be able to reach somebody. That was the other thing, and signage around the facility. There should be something that shows them when they come, what the 100-foot distance is, some sort of signage. We've done that in the past with other things.
Yeah, I think on the second to last page of the plans.
Yeah.
Or maybe third to last page,
Yeah, the signs
show
and
some
everything,
of the
right.
signs, but-
That it's
Yeah, we could put-
visible, this is the 100-foot line here or something.
Okay.
Just to give it, as they respond, they don't, sometimes you don't see the sign up there, but you see the sign as you run into it.
This is the first one in Rockland?
Rockland County?
Yes.
I don't believe so.
No, first one you're doing.
Oh, correct, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes. Yeah, we've done them across the country, across the state, but I haven't been in Rockland County yet, so.
Okay. Well, hopefully it works out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, I'm sorry.
Okay, who's here for the FedEx? Okay, come on up.
Yeah. No, that's you.
We got, we'll do FedEx first.
Seth, do you want me to, kind of give a little background on this, or do you want?
Sure, it's,
Because you were, I think, one of your colleagues was handling this.
yeah, my partner Steve Rabel, who had a conflict tonight, so I got to learn about battery storage also. First of all, thank you very much, Chairman, for putting this on at the end of your agenda. We really appreciate it. Seth Mandelbaum, McCullough, Goldberger, and Stout, on behalf of Suncap Property Group, regarding property at 9 Al Foxy Way off 303, which is the FedEx facility that has been on that site for several years. As you may remember, there was Phase 2A and Phase 2B plans to expand the existing parking on the site, and it was split into those two phases because of DEC permitting under the old previously mapped system, so not the issue you had with the first application regarding DEC's now defunct new regulations. So you approved Phase 2A back in April, and then on June 10th, you approved Phase 2B, but it was only preliminary, and we should have requested final. So we realized that after the fact. So essentially, we're just asking you to consider updating that preliminary approval to final at this time, so we don't have to go back through the process on final. That's essentially the ask.
I'm gonna just say, I'm excuse myself, because I wasn't here for that meeting, so.
Okay, so I guess, Mr. Mandel, you will step up
Yes.
and be chairman for this application. And this is a little bit of unorthodox, but given the specifics of the case, normally I would say my legal opinion would be final, you got preliminary, they should get the whole. I took out of that is if would have asked when spoke up against it, there was no relatively simple application. The only reason that it was perhaps thought that we needed relatively plain Jane that it be put on as another matter to be considered. And problem with that, with modifying the preliminary. Facts of this case, you know, there was no comment, it's a straightforward. Asked for it at the last meeting, you would have given me facts of this case, I don't have a problem if the board is prepared to go final with the same condition.
No, excuse me. Okay, I don't see a problem, the board, for the most part, just asking, doesn't seem to have a problem. So the conditions would be the same as we approved on June 10th of 2026. The only condition that we would add is that they have to obtain the DEC permit.
I think that
Right, and ensure that you get the DEC permit based upon what's happening with the DEC. It's, I don't see, in my personal opinion, I don't see holding it up just because of the DEC, which seems to come along sooner or later. Okay, do I have a motion to, for final, modified, modification of the preliminary approval to a final approval with conditions, and specifically all those that were approved at the preliminary and the addition of the DEC permit? Do I have a motion on that? Wait a minute, 1, 2, 3. You can't make a motion.
Yeah, he can, 'cause he-
Oh, you're right.
I wasn't here.
Right, okay. Hold it.
Okay.
We okay? Okay.
Well,
Dave?
will-
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I wasn't here, so I'm just.
Okay, so you're abstaining from it, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. All right, so Mr. Warren and Mr. Miller abstained. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you very
You're
much. I
final.
really appreciate the accommodation. Drive safe. Everyone have a safe and enjoyable 4th. Should be a big one. I'll be at a wedding in Beacon. Sure.
Okay.
Doing good.
One more item on the agenda. It's asking if we have any comments regarding the proposed local law establishing a community preservation fund pursuant to Section 64I of the New York State Town Code, the adoption of a community preservation plan by local law, and the adoption of local law to impose a real estate tax, transfer tax on conveyances within the town pursuant to New York State Tax Law, Article 3-A-4 in the town of Orangetown. Does anybody have any comments that they'd like to add to it, or it's, we have no objection to the town board serving as lead agency?
No objections.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion, wait, what's the motion for?
Motion.
Are we gonna make the town board lead agency?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Okay. Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, do I?
Motion, meeting be adjourned?
Nope. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from June 10th, 2026 meeting as amended?
I tried.
Make a
Jeff.
motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion for meeting be adjourned?
Motion. Do I have a second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed.